counterpart, the government stands by the expulsion.
I made clear we accept the advice. We have confidence in the assessments of Australian security agencies. On that basis, Iran crossed a line that was unacceptable to Australia and to Australians.
The next Bond movie may travel back in time. The director of Bond 26 is reportedly looking at an origin story of how 007 was recruited by MI6. But Bond will remain a man. Casting will happen next year with a fresh-faced Brit in his late 20s or early 30s, what they're looking for. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
And it's good morning to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Let's start with football. It is selection night in the AFL with the teams to be released. That's ahead of Saturday's grand final between Geelong and Brisbane. There's much interest in what the Lions will do with co-captain Lachie Neale, while the Cats have to make at least one change with defender Tom Stewart ruled out of the match because of concussion. Let's get to basketball, and Adelaide 36's star signing Bryce Cotton admits he's thrilled to finally be playing for his new club. The 5-time MVP made the controversial switch during the off-season, and he told Ned McHenry and Matt Crouch on the sports show it was great to have a pre-season hit out last week.
It felt good to finally be out there with the guys and see how my body was adjusting to basically the game conditioning, and my body actually felt really good, so I was happy with it.
Let's get to soccer, and Nottingham Forest are 20 minutes away from claiming their first win under new Aussie manager Ange Postecoglou. Forest are playing in the Europa League and found themselves a goal down after 15 minutes, but scored twice in 5 minutes thanks to frontman Igor Jesus, who bagged both of them.
Swung in dangerously and put in the back of the net. He's got another one. Igor Jesus for Nottingham Forest.
Audio there thanks to Stan Sport. It's still 2-1 with less than 20 minutes to play. Meantime, FIFA insists there are no plans to expand the Men's World Cup to a 64-man team tournament from 2030. Next year's edition in North America will, for the first time, see 48 countries participate. That's up from the normal 32. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, partly cloudy and 20 today, partly cloudy tomorrow 21, Saturday a shower or two 18, Sunday a possible shower 18. Right now it is 13 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Is your tech causing chaos? You need Geeks to You. Got a constantly crashing computer, weak Wi-Fi, problematic printer? Our fast and friendly Geeks are available to come to you. No fix, no fee, Geeks guarantee. Geeks to You, part of Officeworks.
At Edwardstown Mazda, we've got something no one else in Australia has. We have Advantage Plus. That means 5 years factory warranty, an extra 5 years mechanical protection, 10 years roadside assistance, even a guaranteed future trade-in price no matter how you pay. All on top of reduced showroom exclusive pricing. No wonder they're the most reviewed and highest rated dealership in Adelaide.
It's gotta be
Advantage Plus. Only at Edwardstown Mazda.
With music at the touch of a button nowadays, there's something extra special about going to Clarity Records and taking it home on vinyl.
We love Clarity Records. It's a way of saying this album's so important that you want to hold it in your hands and take the time to soak it in.
There's nothing quite like the sound of a record either, and it is a piece of music history, from the Beatles to Black Sabbath, from Miles Davis to Metallica. Clarity Records know their music.
In all seriousness, it does not matter what type of music you are in, Clarity Records have got your genre covered, and if you're buying the first of many LPs or hunting something down, drop in, browse and reminisce.
And don't forget to tune into our Grand Vinyl Eve. That's taking place Friday, September 26 between 2 and 3 p.m. Leith Forest will be spinning some of the greatest AFL tracks of all time, all thanks to Clarity Records, your fully independent record store serving the local community for over 15 years. 60 Pulteney Street, Adelaide, or check out clarityrecords.net.
Is IBS ruling your life? Are uncomfortable IBS symptoms like abdominal discomfort, bloating, diarrhea or constipation constantly ruining your plans? Caruso's new IBS Fighter Probiotic to the rescue. Caruso's IBS Fighter Probiotic contains a powerful blend of beneficial bacteria to relieve symptoms of medically diagnosed IBS, such as bloating and discomfort. So if you're tired of letting IBS ruin your plans, try Caruso's IBS Fighter Probiotic today from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
At Medi-Pedi, we believe in making people feel good from the ground up. Combining the skills of podiatry with the indulgence of beauty therapy, Medi-Pedi is a first-of-its-kind concept. The Medi-Pedi Medical Pedicure is Adelaide's best pedicure. Imagine this, your feet are expertly treated by a podiatrist, then pampered by a fully trained beauty therapist. The result? Feet that just don't feel great, they look fantastic too. With 4 Adelaide locations, including the new North Adelaide Clinic, book now at medipediclinics.com.au. Medi-Pedi, feel good from the ground up.
City Discount Tires. Get saving now with City Discount Tires. We're offering great deals on the world's top brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts. Suitable for 4-wheel drives, SUVs and passenger cars, including Falcon, Michelin, Pirelli, Kumho, Hankook and many more. Finance options available. Search citydiscounttires.com.au and locate your nearest dealer today. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value. City Discount Tires.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Not after 6, good morning to you and welcome to Thursday on 5AA Breakfast. It is the 25th of September. We've got a big morning ahead. Eddie Maguire's going to join us before 9 o'clock today. Special edition of the Footy Show on tonight as the build-up begins in earnest for the AFL Grand Final, which is just 2 more sleeps away, which is a good reminder too. We've got AFL Grand Final tickets to give away and they're going off this morning. They are going off this morning, whether someone gets the first clue right, and we have to go to a second clue, a third clue, a 15th clue. We start spelling the name. We'll do rhyming, slang, whatever it takes. We're giving away. We're sending someone to the AFL Grand Final on the program this morning because you've got to get on a plane and get over to Melbourne to enjoy it all. Matt Abraham will be joining us in the studio. We'll talk state politics with Matt. From the airline that brought you pets on planes, there's a new development. I'm looking forward to putting this to a snap poll after 7 o'clock this morning. All will be revealed then. We're off to the US. Jimmy Kimmel's show returned to the airwaves. I'm going to talk gardening very shortly. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Pets on planes. The fact that you said from the airline that brought you pets on planes makes me think it's going to be something really stupid again.
Well, what is stupid to someone? It's all in the eye of the beholder, isn't it?
What, you think sitting next to a dog on a flight isn't stupid?
No, I don't like it, but people with pets some seem to be quite energised about it.
Oh, it's one of those things. I wonder, like, Virgin must have done the sort of opportunity cost, which is how many people get so annoyed that they'll never fly with us again versus how many people go, you beauty, now I can travel with my pet. And they've clearly come down on option 2. It's the best.
Well, as we spoke about at the time, there's real-world data. The US airlines that have done it, they clearly haven't stopped doing it, so they see there must be some commercial imperative to continue doing it.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't do it.
It's hard
it wasn't a money-making
It's hard
idea.
to wrap your head around that, but there must be.
I find it bizarre. I don't know. Like, I love my dogs, but I'm not taking them with me on a flight. I find them bad enough in the car because they're woolly cavoodles. When we get them clipped and clean, but being woolly cavoodles, they have a bit of an aroma.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the car,
a lot of people,
like, even going to Aldinga, 40 minutes drive. I'm like, I need to get one of those little trees that the Uber drivers have.
I suppose for a lot of people too, especially if they're older and they don't have a lot of a big social network, the cost associated with lodging your pet whilst you say go away for a week is a lot. I was speaking to someone yesterday who was saying that they're going away for a week and the usual family members that look after the dog aren't around. If someone's sick, there's no one to do it.
It's so expensive.
$800.
$800?
$800.
Where's the dog staying?
For
the Intercontinental.
7 days. $800.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's staggering. It's like another holiday. So maybe that's where the commercial imperative comes in. People will pay a lot not to have to fork out to get someone else to take care of it.
I wonder if we're going to go down the same path as the US, though, where the definition of comfort animal has expanded.
Has Trump ended the comfort animal? It feels like low-hanging fruit for the Trump administration.
I can't remember a presidential decree.
No, he hasn't. He needs to sign one of those things saying there's no comfort animals.
Or maybe just go back to cats and dogs.
That was his first focus.
Eating the dogs.
That was his first foray into animal welfare, so maybe he hasn't done it again.
I wonder if any of our listeners know this guy. What about the story in Elizabeth that came out last week about the bloke who he hasn't been named or identified in the I'm not sure if it's an EPA hearing or what the go is, But there's a guy in Elizabeth, I think he's a person living with disability, who has a rooster. Maybe he's got more than one. But anyway, he has a rooster or roosters, and they, being roosters, they go cock-a-doodle-doo first thing in the morning, and it's driving everybody mad. They're making a hell of a racket. But he's arguing, well, I'm not giving up my roosters because they're my comfort animals. He's got a comfort rooster. I don't know if I'd find a rooster particularly comforting. Do they become tame? Can you hug a rooster?
Do we have any listeners that have a comfort animal? 8223 text us on the Police Home Care text line, 0480 08 1395. We'd love to hear from you.
I suppose you can hug anything if you
exactly right. Let 1,000 flowers bloom.
I don't want to waste any more time talking about it.
Corey says, I'd rather much have my dog sitting with me in the cabinet area rather than the cargo area. It's dark and extremely noisy and scary for us. So there's a dog that animal lovers are all behind this particular measure. It's not the one we're actually talking about today, but it is from the same airline seeking to innovate. Some other people have painted some more graphic pictures of what pets do and how that might impact your enjoyment on the plane, but it's too early to talk about the bowel movements of people's animals, so we're not going to do it. We're going to talk wisterias in just a moment.
The wisteria on the back veranda is still blooming. What's that the first line from?
I'm not sure.
The wisteria on the back veranda is still blooming, and all my great aunts are either insane or dead.
Put me out of my misery, please.
Kensington Road goes straight for a while before turning.
Oh, it's Paul Kelly.
Adelaide.
Paul Kelly, yeah.
It's one of the best depictions in Song of a Flower.
It is the prettiest flower getting around, isn't it? It's such a shame it blooms for such a short period of time. I think, you get a zag, are you? You don't like it?
I like a plant that shows some effort.
You reckon with the fact that...
The wisteria is the laziest flower because it just sits around on its backside doing absolutely nothing 51 weeks of the year. And it's like, oh, look at me. And then it goes again. And so, now you're just back to looking like a gnarly dead grapevine, are you, for the next almost year?
Well, all right. Well, folks, you can nominate your favourite flower, 8223 or text us on the Police Home Care text line, because we're going to be talking wisterias in a moment.
Are you a wisteria guy?
With Milton Vidulis. It's one of the few I know, David. The Milton Vidulis coming up in just a moment on 5AA Breakfast News Headlines. Tom Wren as well. Back shortly.
They say one of life's biggest decisions is buying a home, but sometimes the hardest one is leaving it. At Anglicare SA, we're here to help you stay where you belong. We offer support for everyday things like cleaning, gardening, cooking, but are also experts in care management, allied health, and clinical nursing. Because we believe there is no place like home. And with the right support, there is no reason to leave it. Find out more at Anglicare SA. You are at home.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Let's talk about Harvey Norman's September sellout. It's on right now. Grab yourself an HP 15S Intel Core i5 laptop. Super hot sellout price, now just $698. Genuine value and great for general use, including email, video calls, any office work, and for students. Or save $500 on the Lenovo Ryzen AI5 laptop with 24 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD, slashed to just $998. Gamers, this one's for you. The Acer Nitro V with Intel Core i9 and RTX 4050 graphics is an amazing deal at only $1398. There are more sellout savings in-store and online.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
When helping people becomes a business, people can become mere numbers. But at ADL Support Services, we truly care about personal supports for you. I'm Lisa River, and our family-run business is filled with like-minded and dedicated individuals passionate about finding the joy in the ordinary and the yes in the can't. If you or someone you love has a current NDIS plan or is living with a disability, talk to us. Visit adlsupportservices.com.au.
Fuel cards, receipts. Why does managing a fleet feel like I'm building flat pack furniture? Without the instructions. Don't ask why, ask Wex. Wex Motor Pass is the one card that works for everything. No fuss, no piles of paperwork. Just streamlined fuel management across Australia. Finally, a fix that doesn't need an Allen key. Search Wex Motor Pass. Terms and conditions apply.
Get summer ready with TJM. Whether you're hitting the beach or heading off-road, TJM has the latest in four-wheel drive and camping gear to keep your adventure ready. Check out our brand new 270-degree freestanding awning, rooftop tents, camp chairs, fridges and everything else you'll need for the ultimate outdoor setup. Drive with confidence all summer long with TJM's range of bull bars, vehicle protection and premium suspension options, including GVM upgrades. TJM Nailsworth, Ranella and now Mount Gambier.
See movies how they should be seen. Hear movies how they should be heard. All on the big screen with Quake Sound at Wallace. And now you can see them for less and enjoy candy bar discounts and other special member offers and freebies. Simply become a My Wallace member today. It's free, it's easy and it's full of benefits. Go to wallace.com.au and click on Join My Wallace today. Wallace Mitcham, Mount Barker, Noarlunga and the Piccadilly. South Australia's home of big screen magic and entertainment.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
19 minutes after 6, there's been a big off-field blow for the Adelaide Football Club. Tom Wren's got the details coming up very shortly, so stick around for that. Already, David's issued a stinging editorial aimed at the wisteria on the program this morning. Milton Vidulis from the Vidulis Garden Centre joins us on the program. Morning to you, Milton.
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Great,
did you hear David's takedown of the wisteria a moment ago?
I did, and I was thinking it was going to be my comfort plant. So,
oh, mate, bringing the themes together nicely there. No, look, it is a glorious looking plant when it's in flower, Milton, but it doesn't do much when it's not in flower, does it?
No. Look, I guess you're right. It does flower throughout the summer. It has sort of sporadic flowers throughout the summer as well. But there's no doubt that it's the king in spring. It's just so full of flowers. If you go to the Botanic Gardens, you go to the Wisteria Arbours, they are just amazing plants. They're very popular in Adelaide for several reasons. I mean, they're just so full of flowers. Everyone loves that beautiful lilac flowers and, of course, the perfume they give out when they're in flower. So it really heralds spring, here it is, here's spring, we're out and about. But there's a couple of things you may not have known. There's a Japanese wisteria and a Chinese wisteria. Now, we grow predominantly the Chinese one here, but when the Chinese one grows, it grows anti-clockwise. And, of course, the Japanese one grows clockwise. So that's how you can tell them apart, just by looking which way they twine up a post. So they're fabulous plants. I love them. Different colours. You get them in whites, purples, pinks.
I've never seen a pink one. Never seen a pink. I didn't know you could get a pink. Hey, Milton, are they fast to establish like a grapevine? Like, can you get a wisteria up and running within a couple of years to cover about 5 metres or something?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, wisteria can grow 30 centimetres a day once it starts growing. So they can grow up to, up that old 100 feet, 30 metres. So they're a big growing climber. So you need to be either very careful where you plant it or, pruning it continuously and very, very important.
Because you can sort of contain them, can't you, insofar as you can sort of turn them back in on themselves to get that wraparound effect that the Adelaide Botanic Gardens has done so well with the wisteria one.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the ones I had growing at home, I used to prune them several times a year just to keep them under control. Otherwise, you do get this great big twining plant that, if you let it get out of control, it becomes a big job. But if you're pruning it constantly or, as you say, turning it back into itself, you can have a really, quite controlled plant. Some people grow them on a pole with the ring at the top as a standard, and you keep them pruned like that. They're quite stunning like that as well.
Yeah. You actually won me round. I was a bit hasty with my criticism of the wisteria. I think I should temper my remarks somewhat.
30 centimetres a day is not lazy.
Yeah, that's vigorous stuff.
That's quite vigorous.
they can really, really grow. But it's a stunning plant. Yeah, you look out for a pink one and the white one, the Floribunda white is just exquisite. They grow, flowers instead of those flowers that only grow, that to 20, 25 centimetres. They can grow up to 1.2 metres long, some of these Japanese wisterias. So they're really stunning.
Hey, Milton, I'm trying to remember how long it is since we did that OB when you wrapped up at the garden centre. I reckon it was 2 years ago?
No, it was a year. Just over a year.
Oh, okay, just over a year.
Yeah,
that cyclamen that you gave me is still going absolute gangbusters.
Oh, is it? That's fantastic. Oh, yeah. It's if you put the right plant in the right position, you're going to have real success. And, of course, you've got green fingers anyway, Dave, so it doesn't surprise me. But, no, that's fantastic. I'm very pleased.
Do you miss it, mate? Do you miss being there in the nursery every day?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm fortunate my son started a business on the same site there, selling indoor plants and patio plants. So I still keep his finger in.
Oh, that's
I
good.
still help him with, obviously mentoring him and, help him with the buying.
That's good.
Just helping him out.
Indoor plants are all the go, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Look, everyone's got a bathroom, everyone's got a lounge room and what have you, but not everyone's got a garden. So you can still have that greenery inside just to make you feel good.
Absolutely. Great chatting to you again, mate. Milton Vidoulis, former owner of the Vidoulis Garden Centre.
Some terrific texts coming through on the Police Home Care text line. Sue in Redwood Park sent through a picture of her wisteria, and Peter has sent through a picture of his comfort turtle, Larry.
Larry.
He describes Larry as cuddly. Is that the
cuddly
adjective
turtle?
we described for turtles?
Snuggle up with your Galapagos.
I guess so.
daughters.
I've not met Larry. Maybe I shouldn't prejudge. Thank you for that, Peter. Appreciate that. 048081395, or you can call us on 82230000. Let's look at the weather for today and the weekend. Top of 20 expected today, up to a mill of rain on the way. Right now, 13.2 degrees outside at the moment, so it's actually a pretty warmish start to the day. 21 the top tomorrow, so a couple of really nice warm days the next 2 days before it'll change a little over the weekend. Saturday, top of 18, up to a mill of rain. Sunday, the exact same. Then more of a decent downpour on Monday, potentially up to 8 in the gauge, and a top of 22, 17 on Tuesday. And for the 1st of October, 21 and 4 millimetres of rain on the Wednesday. Now, Tom Wren's in the 5AA Breakfast studio with some breaking news. We don't typically do a lot of breaking news out of the Serie A, Rennie, but we do have some this morning because it affects the RFL. The Cold Glider on Elder, a new door with operator before the end of September, received 2 extra handsets. Good morning to you.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Yes, this regards Darren Burgess, who's the head of high performance at the Adelaide Football Club. He's worked at Port Adelaide, of course, with great success at Melbourne, remember, and then he's also been overseas, Liverpool, Arsenal, NFL, NBA. But, he's had great success here in the AFL. He, on the club website for Juventus, Italian soccer giants, they are delighted to announce the arrival of Darren Burgess, who will take on the role of Director of Performance.
Please tell me there's another Darren Burgess out there.
It's the same one that we know. So
they've announced it before the Crows have announced that he's gone.
Yeah, they've got it on their club website.
Breaking at 6:25.
Yep, so that's been up for a couple of hours now on their website.
That's a huge blow.
It's a big blow.
There's been such a well-prepared... Look
at this year.
Exactly right. A ridiculous run of it without injury.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rennie, I don't like that at all. And not wanting to look ahead, but he was part of the Petrarca pitch, wasn't he? They worked
together, exactly.
It was him and it was Alex Neil-Bullen.
Yep, that's right. And they've still got Neil-Bullen.
Maybe in his confusion, instead of trying to recruit a well-known Italian, he accidentally joined a well-known Italian soccer club.
Yeah.
He went in too deep. He got really into Italian culture.
Yeah, method acting.
But look, he's been there since 2021, I think, with the Crows. He's been there for a few, or maybe not that long. It was Melbourne, I think. It's only been a few seasons with Adelaide now, hasn't it? But it's starting to.
What a resume he's got, though. You just mentioned Rennie. Like that's.
Is that in Italian or English? That thing you've got in your hand?
No, it's in English.
Yeah, right. What's it? So give us a bit of a top of it. What's it say here? So this is from their website.
This is from their website.
Juventus is delighted to announce the arrival of Darren Burgess. He will work closely with Damien Comoli, Giorgio Chiellini, Francois Modesto, Igor Tudo, and across all the technical areas and every age group of the club to form a high-level team dedicated to promoting excellence in performance, innovation and athletic well-being.
Do we get a transfer fee? That's what happens in the World Game. That'd be nice.
Would
yeah. €2.5 million for Darren Burgess.
To your point, Will, this is him. Throughout his career, Darren's made significant contributions through his work both in Europe, at Liverpool and Arsenal, including also consulting with clubs in the NFL and NBA. His most recent collaboration being in Australia with Adelaide Football Club. Not the Adelaide Football Club. It's not a collaboration, it's a job.
Collaboration? Makes it sound like he's, he there's a guest appearance on a track on an album that just came out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It's not the news you want to wake up to, is it? It's disappointing. But look, great for him. If he's obviously wanting to scratch that itch. I know that he has a huge passion for the World Game, so he gets to satisfy that.
And you hope there's a legacy benefit to the Adelaide Football Club. He's embedded systems and processes, and people have trained under him now in that unit. So maybe glass half full, you can get the best of both worlds, because you don't necessarily having to spend for the name that is Darren Burgess, but you're getting all the intel. It's in the club now, so nothing like the real thing, though.
Yeah, exactly right. Just a little bit of other news as we wrap up is Nottingham Forest, Ange Postecoglou, still looking for that first win. 2-1 up this morning. They were in cruise control. Should have scored probably 3 or 4, but then, if you don't score, then you leave yourself vulnerable. Real Betis went the other way, scored one very late. So a 2-2 draw, still looking for that first win. This is Europa League, which is the tournament he won last year at Tottenham. So disappointment again this morning for Ange Postecoglou.
All right, good stuff, Rennie.
Thanks, boys.
On you, Tom.
Plenty of good news for us this morning, Rennie. Nothing good? Nothing positive? Anything?
No, I'm trying to think of this. Braden Fiorini was in town, so the Crows might get him. So that's...
Marty Mattner said he's not going anywhere.
Marty Mattner said he's staying.
That's the best story of the week. That's a great yarn.
Oh, there you go. Something for the Sturt fans. Yeah. Good on you, Rennie.
Thanks, boys.
5AA News is coming up. 8223 our number. You can text us on the Police Home Care text line. Lots of comfort animals coming through and lots of wisterias. If you'd like to call in to talk about either, our phone lines are open. We would love to chat.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy and 20 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Treat dizziness, vertigo and motion sensitivity with vestibular physiotherapy. Visit neurophysio.com.au, part of Physio Extra Group.
One of the big banks has allegedly been made a victim to one of the biggest frauds in Australia's history. More from Jack Hahn.
According to authorities, they arrested Chinese-born Michael Lee at the $18 million Crown Penthouse in Sydney. He's accused of directing a syndicate that used corrupt solicitors, real estate agents and mortgage brokers to snap up millions of dollars worth of property across Sydney. The SMH says it's believed he bribed NAB employees to turn a blind eye to dodgy documents to help approve applications. 14 people have been charged, accused of $105 million worth of fraud. No one from NAB has been arrested. Some have been stood down, subject to investigation.
2 people have been killed and another is in a critical condition after a shooting at a facility run by US Immigration in Dallas. The suspect fired multiple rounds from a nearby roof. He was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The motive remains unclear. Foreign Minister Penny Wong has responded to US President Donald Trump's almost hour-long speech at the UN. Mr Trump told world leaders their countries are going to hell because of migration. He also accused the UN of failing to help him to broker peace deals. Senator Wong telling the ABC his comments about climate change being a con job weren't unexpected.
These are issues where President Trump has been very consistent. His position has been clear. Australia does take a different view.
Pharmacists are encouraging a chemist-first approach to non-emergency health concerns. New research shows half of Australians are unaware their local chemist can treat common conditions and issue medical certificates for short-term illness. Pharmacy Guild President Professor Trent Toomey says some people are waiting weeks to see a GP.
In every state and territory, you can get treatment for an uncomplicated urinary tract infection. You can get your hormonal contraception. You can receive treatment for eczema, dermatitis, plaque psoriasis.
Choice has named Aldi the cheapest supermarket for home brand groceries. An average 8-item basket came in at just over $20 at the German supermarket chain, compared to nearly $24 at an IGA. But the consumer group's Mark Sorrell says price differences between stores are starting to shrink.
We've changed the way we're doing the survey. We focused almost exclusively on home brand products for this quarter. I think it was about 7% difference. So I think all the supermarkets tend to be quite competitively priced.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. South Aussie Darren Burgess has been appointed Director of Performance at Juventus. Burgess has been working with the Crows and had previously worked with the Power and Melbourne, but has also worked with Liverpool and Arsenal in the EPL and has also been involved in the NFL and NBA. Well, AFL Grand Final teams will be named later today, with Geelong and Brisbane both facing selection dilemmas. Lions co-captain Lachie Neale needs to train flat out today to prove he's overcome a serious calf injury. For the Cats, Reece Stanley's pushing for a recall after being declared fit to return from a hamstring issue. Veteran key forward Jeremy Cameron says it'll be a very different lineup to the 2022 Premiership team.
We've got, I think, 10 or 11 players that haven't played in a grand final before, so a big turnover given that we were only there 3 years ago. So they're excited, they keep you young. Us older boys are there to sort of guide them and support them and just let them play and flourish.
Another missed opportunity for Ange Postecoglou and his new side Nottingham Forest. That's after playing out a 2-2 draw against Real Betis in the Europa League. Forest led 2-1 until late on, but gave up an equaliser in the 85th minute.
It's half a chance. Across the face of goal and in from Anthony. The first goal of his second spell back at Real Betis, and they are level.
Audio there thanks to Stan Sport, the match finishing in a 2-2 draw. And tennis great Boris Becker says he regrets winning the Wimbledon title at just 17 due to the pressure and expectation it placed on his career. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, heading for a top of 20 today and partly cloudy tomorrow 21. Saturday a shower or two 18, a possible shower Sunday 18. Right now it is 13 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
25 to 7, we're off to the US very shortly. Rob Scott reporting on the return of Jimmy Kimmel to TV screens, but not all of them. We'll get to that shortly. Also, a new plan to treat algal bloom-related anxiety for young people in schools. We'll get into that. Lots of people treating their anxiety with comfort animals, it turns out, on the Police Home Care text line this morning. Rob in Clearview's called in on the comfort animal. Morning to you, Rob.
Hey, how you going, guys? And, look, there's a lot of pigs on planes, but I want an emotional support llama to go with me.
La llama es un quadrúpedo.
It's all right, as long as it fits under the seat in front.
The llama is a quadruped. They spit, don't they? Llamas? As long as they don't adjust their seat without telling you first.
Well, that's
really
that's where you draw the line, isn't it?
So I didn't mind you being here, llama, until you did that.
Exactly right. A few texts. Russell says on comfort animals, he says you can dob his partner about this one. So I prefer being with my dogs than my partner most of the time, and so does my partner. Thanks, Russell.
Nice.
I like that. Russell also.
Russell, no surname provided.
No, well, he's put in a disclaimer in there, not to that you can read this out because my partner agrees with me on this.
That's right. I've got 3 Newfoundland dogs, 2 female, 1 male, and birds and a cat.
Sue has made the point about how expensive it is to lodge animals. She says, I can't relax when I go away until they are safely imprisoned. Last time, 4 days, 3 nights for 1 dog, 2 cats. For 3 nights, the total bill, $420. I supply their food. However, it's worth every cent for the peace of mind. And Sue's favourite flower, the daffodil.
3 nights for $420. That's like a good sort of flag-in style country hotel, isn't it? That's a lot of money.
It is a staggering amount of money. We've spent a lot of time talking about the impacts of the algal bloom commercially and on business, and indeed on state government coffers, both state and federal. We've talked about the science of it, the origins of it, and where it might ultimately go. Well, Blue Minds have turned their mind to the issue of how to deal with what they call eco-anxiety, concerns about these. There's something that I guess we didn't have many concerns about until the last 12 months. The idea of going down to the beach, walking the beach, going for a swim, being able to do so and everything being okay. Cal Glansnig is the co-founder of Blue Minds. Cal, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Now, Cal, I know I was reading about you yesterday online, and you've done a lot of work. You started sort of doing your work there in Cronulla, wonderful beach there, just south of the Sydney CBD. What is eco-anxiety, and are we giving it too medical sounding a title? I mean, is there a difference between being worried about something, being concerned about something, being rightfully alarmed at something like an algal bloom, as opposed to actually labelling it anxiety?
Yeah, there's a few different terms. So climate distress, climate anxiety, eco-anxiety that sort of fall under this blanket of what a lot of us, but particularly a lot of us young people feel when we think about the future of our planet. So, yeah, this comes from, I guess, those fears about climate change, fears about all these different things that our planet's going through. But, yeah, the outcomes of what it leads to could lead to, a lot of distress and negative thoughts. So, yeah, we're seeing that come up in a lot of schools and a lot of sort of students disengaging from subjects like geography and science when they are being taught about climate change and different environmental initiatives to sort of, feel like they are in that level of concern as opposed to thinking they can do something.
So what's the sort of message that you're going to give to these young people locally? Because you're going to a lot of the different schools, Cardine College, Warianda, Seaview, Seaton, like a lot of the big schools around town are going to be hearing your message. What are you going to say to the kids?
Yeah, we've taken this program since we've launched last year all across the country. So, we've just ticked over 10,000 students. And the biggest thing that we try to share with the young people is that to not feel alone, but to also how to go on a bit of a journey. So if you do feel this eco-anxiety, which the research from Origin based in Melbourne say that 2 in 3 young Australians are really struggling with this. So how to sort of go on a bit of a journey, starting with appreciation and love. So the power of gratitude and how that can release all these positive chemicals in our brain. And then moving that into awareness. So being mindful, focusing on what's in your control, being present. So not thinking about the past or about the future. So we run through a practical exercise there about how to connect to your senses. And then awareness about some of the different challenges the ocean's going through. But then we talk about action and how hope lies in action, and young people have the power to rewrite the future for the better, to get involved. And at the end of the day, you can't control a lot of things in the world, but you can control your own actions. And we sort of workshop with the students different individual actions that they can take, community actions, or how can they drive change in their school, in their workplace, their sporting club, and then innovative actions, and talk about how young people haven't been on this planet that long. So we've got all these different ideas, all these new ways of thinking that the world can definitely use right now.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's not the kids who've got a monopoly on being anxious about it here with the algal bloom. They're retired people waking up in their little slice of paradise to find dead stingrays in front of their beach houses over the last 6 months. So everyone can benefit from this. Good on you, Cal, and good on you, young bloke, having a crack. Done your own TED Talk, which is more than I've ever done. Cal Glansig there, the co-founder of Blue Minds. Thank you for joining us.
As Cal was making some very serious points about the anxiety wrought by ecological disaster, we got a text from someone who's used AI to generate an emotional support trout, which I confess started to give me the giggles. Thank you. The person hasn't put their name to it, but it's terrific. That's what the police home care text line. It's in a purpose-built little briefcase.
It's terrific.
0448081395. Let's head to the US. Rob Scott for 7 News has been covering it was a suspension of the Jimmy Kimmel program that certainly Donald Trump took as a cancellation. He returned yesterday to the airwaves, and this is what it sounded like.
The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
So it was a long monologue. He was contrite in parts. He apologised for the Charlie Kirk component of it, which was the misinformation, frankly, that got him taken off the airways in the first part. However, he's not back everywhere because a lot of the carriers of the program aren't putting him back on, despite the fact that Disney and ABC have. Rob Scott's got those details for us. Morning to you, Rob.
Morning, guys.
How was it received, the Jimmy Kimmel return?
I think there's mixed reviews. There's a lot of strong support from within Hollywood. You know, there were like 400 or so Hollywood A-list actors and actresses who signed an open letter, you know, calling for his return and saying that him being taken off the air was an attack on free speech. But then you've also had people like the spokesman for Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA saying, you know, it was not good enough from Kimmel last night, that he should have admitted his mistakes and said sorry. So there was no, you know, apology, no, like, I'm sorry from Kimmel. It was more trying to clarify what he meant, saying he never intended to point the fingers of blame at any one organisation or make fun of Charlie Kirk's assassination. So he was, you know, you're right, he was contrite, but there was no actual outright apology. So mixed reviews, really.
Aren't there two issues at play here too, Rob? One being that it is appalling that any political leader thinks that they have the right to impinge on people's free speech by demanding who is and isn't allowed to appear on television, which is a criticism that a lot of traditional conservatives, pro-free speech conservatives, have indeed been making of Trump, like Janet Albrechtsen in the Oz yesterday wrote a great column about it. On the other side of the coin, though, Jimmy Kimmel is A, not funny, and B, also totally lied about the motivations of the guy who murdered Charlie Kirk.
Well, I mean, those are two very good arguments, and, you know, it depends who you speak to, whether they agree with that or take the opposite view. So that's been the divisive factor here. You know, Jimmy Kimmel says he was, you know, misunderstood, but there are those who say clearly he wasn't and he was wrong in what he said, which is where that anger comes from about him not saying sorry and not admitting to being incorrect. So that's the divisive nature of this argument about free speech, but also the political angle here in the United States, very much, you know, left versus right.
Rob, he's not back everywhere, though, is he?
No, he's not. There are two big local TV broadcast companies that own about 20% of all ABC-affiliated stations across the United States. They're called Nexstar, one big broadcast company, and Sinclair. They have refused to return Kimmel to the airwaves. They are still very upset with what he said, incensed actually, and they have refused to put his show back on their channels. So that's about 70-odd stations. There's only about 250 in America. So, you know, 20%, just a tick above 20%, and that means tens of millions of Americans, mostly on the East Coast, did not get a chance to watch Kimmel on their television set. But you can watch him many other ways. I mean, look at it online. His YouTube opening monologue, which was very long, 17-odd minutes, that's had more than 14, I think it's up to 16 million views so far. So, you know, we're still waiting for the actual ratings of who watched it on television. But 20% of all ABC channels not running it, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, whether there was a bump up or whether it was a huge drop because of that missing 20%.
Yeah, fascinating, Rob. Thank you. Rob Scott for 7 News in the US. There'll be more on that.
He's so desperately unfunny, though. Like, it's just this new brand of comedy, and the ABC's a perpetrator of it often in Australia. It's like, you know, they should have a comedy chat show on the ABC called I've Been to Uni. I've been to uni.
Well, do you reckon Jimmy Kimmel? I haven't seen enough Jimmy Kimmel. I didn't realise he was that. He tried to be.
No, well, it's just so partisan.
Oh, well, yeah, it is. They all are, those shows.
What I mean, like, you know, it's FNA, Pauline Hanson, FNA, Donald Trump. You know, there's no, like, the great sort of humorists. You think of people like John Cleese, Peter Cook. In America, you think of like Lenny Bruce, Steve Wright. In Australia, you think of people like Rodney Roode. Just complete left field stuff that's designed to make you laugh. Not stuff that's designed to make you feel tense because you're thinking about political debates all of the time.
Well, that's all US is at the moment. That's all they think about when it comes to everything. You know who spoke well about this? Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was great yesterday. Joe Rogan came on and said, Joe Rogan, pretty friendly with old Donald Trump in the lead up to the last election campaign. In fact, many credit the Trump campaign success to the fact that he was able to get on programs like the most listened to podcast on planet Earth, Joe Rogan's podcast in the United States. Kamala Harris didn't want to do it. She wanted him to fly out and didn't want to play by the rules and so forth. Now, Joe Rogan yesterday said, anyone on the right who's saying, yes, sack the comedian because you don't find him funny, he's like, You people are mad.
Yeah, totally.
You are nuts. This is the whole thing we fought against.
Correct. And this is the thing. You can't have it both ways. You can't bemoan cancel culture. You can't bemoan the left saying we're going to pull a Dr. Seuss book that came out in 1951 from circulation because it's got a caricature drawing of a Chinaman in it. And Howard of the Moon about, all these left-wing petals. I mean, because I think it's a valid criticism of the left. And then do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a mountain of texts about our chat with young Cal Glansnig before about so-called eco-anxiety. I didn't want to be nasty to some young guy who's trying hard to lift the spirits of the young, but I do agree with 2 points that have come through on the text line. Not everything is anxiety. And I totally agree with the sentiments, and being a father myself, it's like, you talk to your kids about, you're meant to be stressed when you're doing your exams. You're meant to be stressed when you start a new job.
It doesn't make it clinical anxiety.
No, there's a difference. And also, too, and doffing our hat to Chris Bowen here with his Australia about to be engulfed by climate fireball report that came out the other day. That combined with some of the more AEU-fueled stylings of telling kids every day that the world's about to end, that might have something to do with it too.
I think that might be accurate. Let's check traffic, police and weather coming up in just a moment. Also, inflation surprised a little yesterday. The headline figure has a 3 in front of it again. What does that mean for rate cuts before the end of the year? You're going to find out before 7.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. At Ottawa, urgent electrical works on Grand Junction Road at Eastern Parade. Detours in place and speeds reduced through there. Starting to get busy at Flinders Park, works Holbrooks Road near Grange Road, and a bit sluggish already South Road at Glandore for the tram overpass works. Cameras, Fitzroy Terrace North Adelaide and McGill Road, McGill this morning. Check out Foodland's late week specials. Australian topless pineapples, $3.95 each, and Aussie raspberries, $4.95 per punnet. Ends tomorrow at Foodland. Great food lives here. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
At Coles, you can save with great half-price game day snacks, like half-price Doritos or XXL corn chips, $1.50 to 170 grams, now just $2.50. Shop in store or online at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
Steinborner has done it again. The Jack T9 Ute has landed at Jack Motors in Gawler. Enjoy a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, 7-year unlimited K warranty, 7-year roadside assistance, 7-year capped price servicing. The Jack T9 impresses with a turbocharged diesel engine, 4x4 dual-range transmission, 3-ton towing capacity, and it can easily handle a full-size Aussie pallet with a 1,045-kilo payload. All this from $39,990 drive away. Jack Motors. It's well worth the trip. Gawler, Barossa and Clare, or at gawlerjackmotors.com.au.
You've got mates lined up, you've got the TV primed. Now all you need is a Barbie feast that really ups the stakes. Thomas Farms has absolute ripper footy finals boxes packed with South Aussie beef, lamb, pork and chicken, ready to impress your crew.
Nothing gets you excited like the odour of a big box of meat, does it? Anyway, whether you're hosting the Thomas Farms, how good is it? Whether you're hosting the big one or turning up with the goods, this is the box that, here's that pun again, ups the stakes. You can order from the website. Just go to thomasfarms.com.au or pick one up directly from any Thomas Farms butchers. You'll find them at Castle Plaza, Cavan, Colonnades, Norwood and West Lakes.
Thomas Farms Ripper Footy Finals boxes, premium Aussie meat, farm to fork flavour made for finals footy.
Miele appliances are crafted for longevity, designed so that you fall in love with them time and time again. Once a Miele, always a Miele. This September only, Miele invites you to spend and save up to 15% on selected kitchen and laundry appliances. Secure your Miele savings now, in-store or online, and discover why once a Miele, always a Miele. Hurry, offer ends September 30. T's and C's and exclusions apply. See the Miele website.
For over 50 years, Gliderol has been manufacturing and installing garage doors for South Australian homes. Spring is almost here, so why not improve the street appeal and value of your most prized possession? Order a new Gliderol door with operator before the end of September and you'll receive 2 extra handsets. Plus, we'll remove your existing door for free. Call Gliderol for a free measure and quote on 1300 799 144 or go to gliderol.com.au. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
Imagine it's a beautiful sunny day. You're standing on a garden of lush green turf. You've got your shoes off so you can feel that grass between your toes. give them a good scrunch. Really feel your feet sink into the cool, soft grass. That feeling is yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The Turf Farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it, and importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
8 to 7. Let's get a weather forecast for today and the weekend. Jenny Horvath at the Weather Bureau joins us. Good morning, dear Jenny. How's Thursday looking?
Yeah, look, a bit of a cloudy start out there this morning, but we're expecting to see some sunshine as we roll on into the afternoon. Minimum temperature of 12.8 happened in the early hours of this morning. Currently it is 13.4 degrees. We're looking at a top temperature in the city of around 20 degrees, likewise for the suburbs. A little bit cooler on the coast there, 19 on the forecast and 19 for Mount Barker. As we roll on into Friday, it's a bit of a change moving through, so slight chance to see a little bit of shower activity maybe around the hills and southern suburbs, but we're really not expecting too much as that moves through. A bit more of just a bit of a wind change from that northerly to that west-southwesterly during the middle of the day. Minimum temperature around 13 degrees for Friday, maximum of 21 degrees. As we roll on into Saturday, we're looking at a top temperature of 18 degrees. A bit of a cold front that's lining up for Tasmania. We might see the tail end of that moving through. So again, maybe the slight chance of a light shower during the day on Saturday, but not expecting too much with that. Maintaining a bit of a westerly airstream on Sunday, so again maybe the slight chance of a light shower but not too much. 18 on the forecast for Sunday. Looks like a more substantial front coming through, better chance for some showers on the Monday there without being overly high with those totals either.
Good on you, Jenny. Thank you for that. Jenny Horvath at the Weather Bureau. Let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Liam Bennett is on the line. Liam, there's been a police chase and then a standoff at Hove overnight. What happened?
Yeah, correct. About 12:30 this morning, police were tasked to Kensington Gardens with reports of a domestic disturbance. On arrival, officers located a man and woman inside a parked Subaru SUV, and it's alleged that when the man spotted police, he drove off at speed with the woman inside and nearly collided with a police vehicle. Responding patrols pursued the Subaru, tracking it through the western suburbs for just over an hour before the driver stopped at a unit complex on Karoona Avenue at Hove. The man took the woman inside a unit and officers established cordons around the address. Police negotiators and Star Group officers attended the scene and attempted to negotiate with the man. Just after 3 o'clock, Star officers entered the unit and they took the man into custody. The 28-year-old from Vale Park is currently being interviewed by Eastern District detectives and is expected to be charged with serious offences later this morning. Fortunately, the woman did not sustain serious physical injuries during the incident and is being provided with support by police. The investigation into this incident is ongoing, but police just want to warn that we will not tolerate domestic violence and will take every action available to protect victims in South Australia.
Hear to that. Also, Liam, drink driver has been caught. This guy sounds like a absolute card-carrying bogan. He's not only drunk, he's chucking burnouts in Murray Bridge. Big day.
Yeah, all sorts of strife for this fella, and it was 9 o'clock last night when Murray Bridge police received numerous calls about a Ford sedan cracking burnouts and hooning around on Kintore Avenue. The learner driver was located nearby and breath tested, where he produced a blood alcohol reading of 0.071, which is obviously well over his legal limit. The 19-year-old from Murray Bridge was reported for drink driving unregistered. He also had a suspenders learner's permit and he didn't have his qualified supervising driver.
Wow.
His car was impounded for 28 days and he'll face court later this year.
So he's already suspended on his L's and he's still driving without anyone in the car with him and he's drunk. Well, he's over 0.0, which is the limit. Crikey.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not learning fast.
No, not much of a learner at all.
Thank you for that, Liam. Senior Constable Liam Bennett from SAPOL. Inflation data came out yesterday. There was some good and bad in it if you're someone that's cheering for an interest rate cut. The headline inflation figure reached 3% again, remembering that the RBA's target band is 2 to 3%. So back with a 3 in front will give the RBA some pause. That said, trim mean is down to 2.6%, which is their preferred measure. So that's right in the middle of the target range. Dr. Susan Stone's the best explainer of this in the business, the economics chair at University of South Australia. Dr. Stone, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, couple of questions. one, to the interest rate component of this, what does it mean for any potential rate cut by the end of the year, having headline inflation with a 3 in front of it? And two, to what extent is this a byproduct of the electricity power bill rebates coming off?
Yeah, those are really good points. If I can take the second one first, it is heavily driven by the electricity rebates, and that's probably why you see such a big difference in the trim rate and in the headline rate, because the electricity rebates were anticipated to raise inflation. Some people were thinking, 2.9%, so 3 maybe slightly above that. But it really is, we've seen big increases in things like tobacco, and there was also some increases in rent and gas. So there have been increases in other areas, but it really is a lot to be attributed to the electricity rebates coming off. So the fact that the quarterly rate is the rate that the CPI rate that the Reserve Bank prefers to use for policy indications, because it's a much more complete rate. The monthly rate, they don't include everything. So the quarterly rate is a better picture, and that comes out right before their November meeting. So you would think that they'll probably sit this month and wait and see what happens with the quarterly rate and that's released at the end of October, and then make a decision for November or even December. But I think most people are expecting there to be one more rate cut before the end of the year.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Can I ask you about the tobacco component? You living in South Australia, I think, would be right across this. Can the basket of goods ever be out of date? Because we have a black market of tobacco in South Australia that's running rampant at the moment because of the high price of tobacco products that are legal. Yet our inflation figure reflects an alternate reality where everyone's just buying the legal product.
Exactly. I mean, the CPI, it's not a perfect measure by any stretch of the imagination, because there are many things that aren't included. And as you rightly point out, anything illegal, anything paid under the table, anything that's not included in the statistics that the ABS collects is not included. So even though it shows legal tobacco products to be going up by, almost 13%, it doesn't have anything to say about illegal tobacco products, which, as you point out, are pretty rampant, not just in South Australia, but as far as I know, across Australia.
Well, it's a $5 billion shortfall in anticipated tobacco excise, $5 billion. So that's such a huge number. That's like 2 new jumbo jets. Like a lot of dough. Yeah. Fascinating. Always love you coming on, Dr. Stone. Susan Stone, the Credit Union SA Economics Chair at Uni SA.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy and 20 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Manage complex neurological conditions at Neurophysio in Eastwood with treatment and group classes. neurophysio.com.au.
The NAB has allegedly been defrauded of $150 million by corrupt staff. Police believe it's one of the largest fraud and money laundering syndicates in Australian history. Several bank workers have been suspended and are under investigation for allegedly receiving bribes to approve home and business loans. NAB customers have not been targeted. Several world leaders are backing Australia's plan to ban social media for children under 16. Emma Mason, whose daughter Tilly took her own life after relentless online bullying, has delivered an emotional address on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Communications Minister Annika Wells says the event was well attended and well received.
A number of other ministers and my counterparts from different countries, all very interested and supportive and wanting to know. I mean, they're grateful, I think, that we're the first, but Australia has always led the way on online safety. We were the first to introduce the e-safety commissioner 10 years ago.
The hunt for alleged cop killer Desi Freeman is now sitting at 31 days. Victorian authorities have failed to locate the armed fugitive after the fatal shooting at Pawnpunka, despite launching one of Australia's largest ever police operations. Victorian police say a $1 million reward for information leading to the 56-year-old's arrest has prompted more than 1,000 tip-offs. China has announced its first ever concrete target to cut carbon emissions. The country is the world's biggest source of planet-warming gases. President Xi Jinping says greenhouse gases will be reduced by 7 to 10% by 2035 and all parts of the economy will shift away from fossil fuels. The BBC's Matt McGrath has more.
Until now, China's actions on climate change have mainly focused on boosting renewables and planting trees. This new plan for 2035 will see it curb all greenhouse gases, so methane as well as carbon dioxide, and the cuts will apply to all sectors of the economy as well as electricity generation. However, the scale of the reductions promised have disappointed many observers who say they are far below what's needed to keep the rise in global temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
And Rihanna has welcomed her third child and first girl, the singer calling her daughter Rocky. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with Operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Adelaide will need to find a new head of high performance, with Italian soccer giants posting on their website that Darren Burgess will be joining them. Burgess has been helping with the Crows since the end of 2021 after being with Melbourne to win the flag that same year, and he's widely respected and regarded not just in the AFL but has spent time in the English Premier League and has also had experience in the NFL and NBA. Well, the Lions face a call on Lachie Neale's fitness for the grand final after they hit the track in Melbourne today. Brisbane coach Chris Fagan says he wants to see the Lions co-captain train flat out before considering him for a recall. Neale has been sidelined since injuring his calf in the qualifying final loss to the Cats and was initially ruled out for the year. Former Sydney coach John Longmire had a similar decision to make ahead of last year's premiership decider. He's told Fox Footy it was one of the toughest call of his coaching tenure to overlook his skipper Callum Mills.
And every decision's a bit different. You only know when the benefit of hindsight. You don't have the information in front of you when you're making the call. Everyone's an expert post the game. And so when you're leading up to it, you've got to just look at the facts. In Mills's case last year, it was a soft tissue. He got through the last training session, but he had a bit of tendon damage about 18 days before that.
South Australia is still looking for its first cricket win of the season in the domestic one-day cup after going down to Western Australia yesterday. And Aussie Ange Postecoglou is still searching for his first win as Nottingham Forest manager after they played out a 2-2 draw in the Europa League this morning against Real Betis. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Ottawa. Urgent electrical works on Grand Junction Road at Eastern Parade this morning. Got detours in place and speeds reduced through there. Bit sluggish at Grange already. Grange Road near Pearce Street and starting to get busy at Flinders Park for the intersection works of Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. Slow going South Road, Edwardstown with a camera this morning. Osmond Terrace at Norwood. Harriscarf mid-season sale is on now. Save 40% off sheets and pillows. That's 40% off. Exclusions apply. Harriscarf, great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast heading for a top of 20 today and partly cloudy tomorrow 21. Saturday a shower or two 18, Sunday a possible shower 18, Monday 22. Right now it's 13 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Fuel cards, receipts. Why does managing a fleet feel like I'm building flat pack furniture? Without the instructions. Don't ask why, ask Wex. Wex Motorpass is the one card that works for everything. No fuss, no piles of paperwork, just streamlined fuel management across Australia. Finally, a fix that doesn't need an Allen key. Search Wex Motorpass. Terms and conditions apply.
As a South Aussie-based not-for-profit health insurer, Health Partners isn't just your health partner. We're your tooth-checking partner, hammy-stretching partner, chart-squinting partner. We're your bone-mending, script-filling, arch-lifting, giving, salad-suggesting, generous limit-giving, member-supporting, SA-loving partner. So for great value health cover, there's no better partner in health than Health Partners. Health insurance made human.
Our nurses and midwives are at breaking point. Every day we help South Australians through their most vulnerable moments. But right now we're being pushed to the limit with feelings of burnout, fatigue and being undervalued. Respectful wages and safe working conditions are about valuing us and also ensuring there are enough nurses and midwives to provide the care you deserve. Support those who care for you. Visit respectnursesandmidwives.com. Authorised by Elizabeth DeBars, ANMFSA, Ridleyton, South Australia.
Agostino Mitsubishi's demo clearance sale is on right now with loads of demo vehicles that must go.
They're absolutely overstocked, so why pay full price when you could drive away with a feature-packed demo model for less?
Plus, they're including 10 years warranty and cap price servicing with any demo car purchased during the sale.
Agostino Mitsubishi's demo clearance sale is on now. Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes. Hurry, stock won't last.
Imagine moving into a brand new apartment where everything is ready, waiting and designed for the way you want to live. Discover the perfect blend of comfort and style at Living Choice Flagstaff Hill Retirement Village. Our stunning move-in ready apartments are designed for easy living, surrounded by first-class amenities that make every day a little more enjoyable. From wellness facilities to vibrant social spaces, you'll find a community where life feels effortless and rewarding. Explore luxury retirement living at its best. livingchoice.com.au.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 after 7, good morning to you. Joining us for the first time on this Thursday, the 25th of September. We have AFL Grand Final tickets that we are giving away this morning. That's right. This will not go to another day, this competition. We are going to keep giving out clues a little bit later until we give away the tickets, accommodation, flights, so you can have the weekend of a lifetime. Stay listening. It is not too far away. I reckon the next clue will get you there.
I've got my answer written down.
Yeah. I reckon the next clue will get you there. But if someone gets it wrong, we'll just keep going until someone gets it right a little bit later. Matt Abraham coming up later this hour. Looking forward to chatting with Matt. And then after 8 o'clock today, Eddie Maguire is going to join us on the show as we build up to the AFL Grand Final, special edition of the Footy Show on tonight, and the Education Minister about another childcare centre being shut down for failing to meet requirements when it comes to the supervision of children, which is kind of...
This raises bigger issues, I reckon, beyond this one specific childcare centre. Some of these childcare centres are being run like fast food franchises, I reckon. Now, that's all right if you just want to get a burger and a drink on your way to work. But sticking your kids in these places, and there's not a knock at all on the parents because you're victims of geography. And I know people of the older generation go, oh, why can't the mums just stay home and look after the kids? Because as a proportion of your income now, paying off your house is impossible without two incomes. Like you simply cannot afford to do it. So you haven't got any choice. But you look at some of the salaries that the people who run these childcare centres, the private ones, I'm not talking about not-for-profits here. There were a couple of blokes who appeared before a Senate inquiry this week. They're earning like $4 million a year. And you introduce a profit motive into something as important as childcare, and suddenly it's like...
Some of the salaries are good.
Oh, they earn that much money because the people on the front line earn bugger all. And
nothing.
Then you end up in a situation where at the Edge in Plympton, some student trainee is left in charge of some kids, and next thing you know, nobody knows where two of them are.
Yeah.
You know, and like if you're trying to save money and run it as lean and as mean as you can, the people who experience that are often 1 year old.
Do any of our listeners receive a unwanted little bit of mail in their mailbox? Certainly those in the Mitcham Council have reported this. The neo-Nazis have been letterboxing. It's a fun little development if you live in the Mitcham Council area with leaflets entitled White Australia. Some of the subheadings include demographics are destiny, rebirth our nation. They're talking about what's required to return Australia to what they describe as its white Australia legacy.
Why'd they pick poor old Mitcham as the basis for...
Well, is it just
Nazi
Mitcham?
uprising?
Have other people received...
What's Mitcham ever done?
Well, this is just it. Have other council areas received these leaflets that have been dropped? Let us know.
They did them last year in Golden Grove.
They did.
It's linked back to that half-wit from Melbourne, Thomas Sewell. He's the guy outside court the other week. He said, "Heil Australia." I would have thought if you love Australia, you don't need to pledge your allegiance to it in German.
That's right. We have perfectly good offensive nationalistic language that we can use in English. 8223 is the number. If you've received one of these, we'd love to hear from you. Was it just Mitcham or have other places received it? And what was your reaction to it? Text us as well. Police Home Care text line 0448 08 1395 is the number. Virgin Australia, fresh off the success of bringing pets on flights, have got a brand new initiative called neighbour-free seating. We want to do a snap poll on this right here and now. 8223 Is this a good idea or a bad idea? Is this something you'll take up or reject? I'll read from there. This is their press, Virgin Australia. A new way for eligible economy guests to unlock extra comfort for their journey. Eligible economy guests can now submit a bid to reserve an empty seat beside them on selected flights, unlocking extra comfort and privacy during their flight. So how does it work? You book your flight. Then you can submit a bid on the Virgin Australia app to reserve the seat. Bids start from, in Virgin's language, as low as $30. A successful bid will be confirmed no later than 2 hours prior to the scheduled departure time of the flight. Would you pay $30, $40, $50, $60, $100? What would you pay to have the seat next to you remain empty? 8223 Is this a good idea or a bad idea? Can you see yourself bidding or not?
They're called single-serving friends in Fight Club, aren't they?
Oh, you people you sit next to on planes, yes.
Do I give them the ass or the crotch? There you go. It's a bit of a misanthropic thing, isn't it? You know, do you hate people? Would you like to make your flight carbon neutral? And do you hate people? I reckon I'd pay $30 if they could guarantee I'm not going to be sitting next to someone's husky or their cat.
Do you get your $30 back if you don't successfully get the extra seat?
Good question.
Because to me, this looks like I could see one from Virgin's point of view. Because there's going to be a lot of people suddenly paying money, or some people at very least, paying money to Virgin to secure a seat that was going to be empty anyway.
Well, that's correct.
So I can see the business model.
I reckon you've got about a 20% chance of getting an empty seat.
Yeah.
Depending on what time of day you're flying.
Yeah.
But if it's middle of the day, like different at 6 a.m. or the last flight home from Melbourne or Sydney to Adelaide, but yeah, if you're flying at like 2 p.m, I reckon you're almost 50-50 of getting an empty seat.
8223 snap poll. Would you bid to keep the seat next to you vacant? Marie in Henley Beach, good morning.
Good morning. First of all, it's not just Virgin. Qantas do it as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago I was on a flight to Melbourne and they sent an email saying if I wanted to, I could pay $30 for the seat next to me to be vacant, which already was anyway, so...
Oh, so you got on the plane and you didn't have anyone there, Marie?
No. But this was sent the night before the flight.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't a bid. They offered you to pay $30.
That's interesting. They must know how full the flights are, though, and then they go, all right, we'll offer it for this one.
Yeah, it wasn't in peak hour. It was 8:50 in the morning, so there was actually about 7 or 8 rows free on the flight.
Well, Marie, then the $30 question is: would you pay to secure an empty seat next to you or not?
Absolutely not. Also because I paid with frequent flyer points.
Okay, no, smart move. Good on you, Marie. Thank you. Stacey, what do you think of this? Good idea or bad idea?
I just think they're trying to make extra money.
Yeah.
Because it didn't say that if they don't accept your bid, that they don't keep your money.
Yeah.
That bit's unclear. Thank you, Stacey. Ange, good morning. What do you think of this?
Good morning, guys. I think you'll find it's a bit like the business class bid. You put a bid in, but they don't take your money out unless you win it.
Yeah, sure.
So you don't actually pay the $30 up front. But, mate, you need someone to talk. It's better for a long flight, though. You can talk about how the Crows did well in the finals, you know what I mean, and now they're losing Burgess. You know what I mean? Burgess is gone as well. Boys, the wheels are falling off. Bring on the Titanic number 2, boys.
Hey, Ange, if I could pay $30 not to sit next to you, I would. Is that you, Ange?
That's right. Flying from Adelaide to Los Angeles next to Ange.
There's a bloke sitting there with his sports scarf on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, how much? 30, 40, 50? No, we love you, Ange. That was very funny.
That was great, Ange.
8223 is the number. You can text us to on the Police Home Care text line. Someone here said, Jay said, if I recall, I paid an extra $80 for a seat next to me to keep it free for an Adelaide to Kuala Lumpur flight. Ended up getting the whole row to myself. Was a winner. Wow, that'd be nice. You sleep across the whole row.
You know, I had a funny experience once. You know, the stereotype of, you know, you get on a flight and you end up sitting next to some absolutely massive person. I got on a plane years ago and there was this huge bloke there. And as I got closer, because I was thinking, like he was actually in 2 seats. He was that big. But you know who it was? It was Ricky May.
Really?
The late, wonderful, wonderful Ricky May. Such a wonderful singer. And he was the world's nicest guy. Hey, someone totally misheard something I said before. I'm just going to read it out because I'd be mortified if anybody else thought I said the same thing. When I was talking about the Edge Childcare Centre and I referred to the student trainees, STUDENT, student as in studying, someone said, respectfully, Pembo, they're not stupid trainees, they are student trainees. I did not say stupid, I said student. And there's no way I'd call people who are trying to start their career stupid. The point I was making was that maybe in hindsight, putting a student trainee in charge of such a large number of kids wasn't very smart.
Yeah.
So sorry you got the wrong end of the stick there, listener. Thank you.
Do you want to hear a bit of AI stupidity to round out our little chat?
Does it involve a trout?
It doesn't involve a trout. It involves J-pop, which is the Japanese version of K-pop, incredibly popular genre of music in that part of the world. Everyone in the world's grappling with AI at the moment. The Japanese often like to create new fandangled television programs to explore all sorts of cultural challenges or things that are going on.
Are you across K-pop Demon Hunters?
No.
It is dead set. Like the hugest thing ever. Like it's one of the most like successful. I don't even know if it's a movie or a show or what it is, but like it's easily the most listened to music in the world right now.
There is a J-pop girl band called AKB48. I don't know if I've said that incorrectly or not, but apparently they're a huge deal. AKB48. A lot of their stuff is done with a well-renowned J-pop producer, Yasushi Akimoto. He's big time in the J-pop world. So in Japan, they created a new program called Akimoto Yasushi versus AI Akimoto Yasushi. And what they did was they got this famed J-pop producer to work with this huge band to write a new song. But what they also did was they trained an AI to study his entire catalogue of music and then also write a song, and fans of the band ultimately chose which version was best. This will be a bit of a culture shock hearing some of this, but here is the version that was written by the real Akimoto Yasushi. That's called Cecil. Here's the one written by the AI.
So is the question, Will,
24,000.
Which of these songs is the least completely unbearable?
24,000 votes were cast, and the AI won 14,000 votes to 10 in a blow to the ego of one of the great J-pop writers in the world.
It sounded to me like what would have happened if Stock Aitken and Waterman were being interned at the Changi prison. It's just terrible.
Anyway,
a good band from Japan called Shonen Knife. Check them out; they're good.
There's a serious part of this, and that is that fans are super fans of a genre of music, whether it's impenetrable to us or not, heard a human who works in that space up against an AI trained on their back catalogue. And the people who love it most said the AI was better. There's a lesson in that for the future.
Particularly if you're in the entertainment /communication/broadcasting space. Is there an argument that the AI version of Friday's 5AA breakfast show might actually be better than the real one?
There's no argument whatsoever. That's just a fact. Let's check traffic.
We're just going to enjoy it while it lasts here, folks.
Let's check traffic, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Morning there at Ottaway. Urgent electrical works on Grand Junction Road at Eastern Parade. Detours in place and speeds reduced. Outside of that, we're accident breakdown free. Not a bad run today, which is excellent. Do have works to look out for at South Road, Karata Park. That is always slow for the South Road project. And starting to get busy, Brighton Road at Glenelg East near Jetty Road. Cameras this morning, Glenburn Road, Burnside and McGill Road at McGill. The brand new Glenelg BMW showroom is now open. All models on site to view and test drive to suit all lifestyles. So visit the team at 141 Brighton Road. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Let's talk about Harvey Norman's September sellout. It's on right now. Grab yourself an HP 15S Intel Core i5 laptop. Super hot sellout price, now just $698. Genuine value and great for general use, including email, video calls, any office work, and for students. Or save $500 on the Lenovo Ryzen AI5 laptop with 24 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD, slashed to just $998. Gamers, this one's for you. The Acer Nitro V with Intel Core i9 and RTX 4050 graphics is an amazing deal at only $1398. There are more sellout savings in-store and online.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
The SUV you haven't met yet. A Motor Jaku has arrived, and Morford Vale is the only place you'll find them. Premium looks, smart tech, designed for beach getaways, backroad breaks, and school runs with flair. Plus an 8-year warranty and Australia's first future price promise. You won't just love the ride, you'll love the peace of mind. Only available at a Motor Jaku Morford Vale. Built for this wild life. Wildly cool. Main South Road. T's and C's apply.
Ever find insurance confusing, whether it's for your car, home, investment property or boat? Well, sometimes you just want to speak to a real person, and that's where RAA can help.
With a dedicated call centre in Mile End and shops across SA, RAA are all about genuine conversations with their members. Whether you get a quote online, over the phone or in person, you'll always receive friendly and reliable advice.
So chat to a local about your insurance today. Call RAA at 8202 4567 or visit in-store. Issued by RAA on behalf of Allianz South Australia Insurance Limited. T's and C's, limits and exclusions apply. Consider the PDS available with a TMD at raa.com.au.
Join the great cover-up and get a Walco Guardian pool cover. Made right here in SA, a Walco Guardian pool cover will preserve your chemicals, keep your water clean, and you won't need to run your pump. Put your pool to bed for winter. Visit walco.com.au.
The kitchen is your studio, and Simpson's Pantry wraps and flatbreads, the canvas for culinary creation. Simpson's Pantry has all bases covered, literally. Pizza bases, naan, roti, souvlaki breads, and of course, back-to-back CanStar award-winning wraps. Your launchpad to Tasty Town. Refresh, remix, and wrap it up with Simpson's Pantry. You'll be absolutely wrapped. Simpson's Pantry. Absolutely wrapped.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
25 after 7, we talked algal bloom anxiety in the first hour of the program. I can't imagine what the level of anxiety was like for South Australian fishers who haven't had any fish to catch in some parts, who were suddenly received an invoice for their fishing licence. The Shadow Minister for Primary Industries, Nicola Centofanti, joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Nicola, good morning to you.
Good morning, lads. Thanks for having me.
So, Nicola, I was talking to one of your people yesterday who told me about it. There's a fisher in Port Lincoln who went out with his mates. They caught like 8 kilos of squid or something, like bugger all. They're not making any money, and they've had the fee invoice slugged on them. I thought these were the people we were meant to be giving relief to.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's not just the one fish in my office and myself personally. I've received a number of calls from various fishers over the last week who've been sent these quarterly invoices for their licence fees. And they're pretty stunned, to be quite frank. I mean, we all know how tough these guys are doing it. As you say, many haven't caught, a single fish, let alone quota in the last few months because of this bloom. So, you can imagine their anxiety when, despite that they're being sent licence fees without, and not only just that, they're sent these licence fees without any information within the invoice itself or within the email as to how they can even try to access fee relief. They can try to apply for fee relief. I mean, I think it's simply unacceptable. At a time when people's mental health and livelihoods are on the line, I think the least the government should be able to do is communicate directly and clearly with those affected, and not slug them government fees.
The other thing too, I can't imagine we're talking about tens of thousands of fishers anyway. So why not just, while all this is going on, say, look, we're not going to impose licence fees until this is sorted out, and that way you're not going to have to go through the rigmarole of recouping money via the online portal after you've had to pay it up front when you haven't actually got any cash flow anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we've been calling for, to provide the full 12-month licence fee, because we all know that this algal bloom is unlikely to be going anywhere. And certainly our fishing stocks aren't going to be back to normal within the next 6 to 9 months. So, why should these fishers be paying for quota that they can't catch and compliance fees when they aren't actually fishing? And our commercial fishers already face some of the most significant compliance obligations with the sector. Like, they have to report every single catch. They fish within designated blocks and zones, and all of that information is fed back to the government. So the government knows exactly what's been caught where. It knows that these fishers have no income because they've had significant reductions in their catch, and it knows this because this information is provided by the commercial fishers to the government every time they go out fishing. So, I'm not sure why they can't use that information to be proactive and offer that proactive fee relief, rather than putting the onus back on the fisher to then have to figure out a way for them to apply to get their and my understanding is they have to pay for the fee, which many of them don't have the cash flow, and then have to ask the government to provide them for the waiver, and they have to do so, going through a big application process. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it sounds like it is. Nicholas Antifanti, the Shadow Minister for Primary Industries. Thanks for joining us.
29 after 7. We're going to take a break. 5AA News on the way. Then Matt Abraham joins us as we dissect the spin of the week.
At IGA, we've got specials that are special to you. Like Nescafe coffee sachets, 8 to 10 packs, selected varieties, $4 each, half price. IGA, you can't beat local. Offer in September 30. Participating stores only. Excludes Foodland.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Now more than ever, you need an agent who's not just out for a quick sale. You need someone who can stand their ground to ensure you're maximising your home's potential. There's a good reason Toop and Toop is defying market trends and continuing to deliver premium outcomes for its clients. With a history spanning over 40 years and a team of unrivalled experience, Toop and Toop knows what it takes to maximise your results in any selling conditions. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy and 20 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Treat dizziness, vertigo and motion sensitivity with vestibular physiotherapy. Visit neurophysio.com.au, part of Physio Extra Group.
There's been a police chase and standoff. It started with a call to a domestic disturbance at Kensington Gardens around 12:30. A man and woman were spotted in a car. Senior Constable Liam Bennett says the vehicle then sped off.
Responding patrols pursued the Subaru, tracking it through the western suburbs for just over an hour before the driver stopped at a unit complex on Karuna Avenue at Hove. The man took the woman inside a unit and officers established cordons around the address.
Star Group were called and the man was eventually taken into custody. The 28-year-old from Vale Park is expected to face several charges. Australia has taken its social media ban for children to the world as some leaders embrace the major changes. US correspondent Jonathan Kersley reports.
Sydney mother Emma Mason delivered a heartfelt plea after the loss of her teenage daughter Tilly to the horrors of online bullying, speaking in front of leaders on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, including European Union Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. She helped deliver Australia's message to the world, afterwards praising the action to ban social media for under 16s, which is due to come into effect in Australia later this year.
Being the country that says we will no longer monetise our children.
It seems the message was well received, von der Leyen saying there needs to be a minimum age for social media.
The NAB has allegedly been defrauded of $150 million via corrupt staff. Several bank workers have been suspended and are under investigation for allegedly receiving bribes to approve home and business loans. A gunman has opened fire from a nearby roof onto a US immigration facility in Dallas, killing two detainees and wounding another before taking his own life. Texas Senator Ted Cruz has this message for Republican and Democratic lawmakers.
To every politician who is using rhetoric demonizing ICE, stop. To every politician demanding that ICE agents be doxxed and calling for people to go after their families, stop. This has very real consequences. Your political opponents are not Nazis.
The shooter has been identified as a 29-year-old local man. A new drug test to treat early Alzheimer's has been given the green light for use in Australia. Leqembi targets the underlying cause by removing and lowering amyloid plaques in the brain. Christopher Rowe, Director of the Australian Dementia Network, says it's a significant boost in the fight against the disease.
It only works if it's given very early before the severity of the dementia gets to the moderate stage. So you've got to have some problems with your memory and thinking, but not too bad, and then you'll get some benefit from this drug.
Jimmy Kimmel's monologue upon his return to late-night TV has clocked up 26 million views across YouTube and Instagram. The talk show host was suspended last week over comments made following the Charlie Kirk assassination. The show itself enjoying its biggest ratings in years, with more than 6 million viewers, despite not airing in around 23% of the country's homes. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. A big blow for Adelaide's coaching staff, with head of high performance Darren Burgess appointed by Italian soccer giants Juventus. They've announced on their website that he'll take over as Director of Performance at the club. Burgess has extensive experience in the world game, having spent time with Liverpool and Arsenal. Well, Brisbane Lions co-captain Lachie Neale will be put through a strenuous fitness test behind closed doors today. The 32-year-old sustained a calf injury in the side's qualifying final loss to Geelong and is pushing for a return in the grand final. Teammate Dane Zorko says it'll be a tough fitness test for the star.
Imagine he just had to sprint probably a little bit harder than us. We'll get the work in that we need to and the parameters that we need to hit, but I guess for him, he'd probably need to just keep ticking off the boxes that the medical team need him to do so. And
back to soccer and disappointment for Ange Postecoglou's Nottingham Forest, giving up a late lead before sharing the points with Real Betis in their Europa League clash this morning, the match finishing in a 2-2 draw. To baseball, the New York Yankees have locked in another postseason appearance after coming from 2-1 down to beat the Chicago White Sox 3-2. The Yankees scoring twice in the bottom of the ninth to secure the decisive win.
And the pitch looped into center field, coming on Taylor. He's not going to make the play. Here comes Judge. He'll score, and the Yankees are going to the postseason. Caballero drives in Judge. The Yankees with 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Audio thanks to ESPN. Always an exciting time, the NBA playoffs. They're not far away. The MLB playoffs, Mel, that is the 5AA Sport.
I was going to say, he does sound very excited. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. The roads are looking pretty good today. Accident breakdown free. Seeing no grade delay, so that is a good start. To have urgent electrical works to look out for at Ottaway, Grange Junction Road near Eastern Bray. But once again, no grade delays through there. A little busy at the moment. South Road, Karata Park, and starting to slow right now. Diagonal Road at Brighton Road, just Tickler East there near the Holdfast Hotel. Cameras, Green Hill Road, Burnside, and McGill Road at McGill. The Chemist Warehouse footy finals, half price vitamins and cosmetics sale is on now. Stock up and save today. Shop in store or online now at Chemist Warehouse. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, partly cloudy for your Thursday, heading for a top of 20, partly cloudy tomorrow 21, Saturday a shower or two 18, a possible shower 18 again on Sunday. Right now it's 14 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
For over 50 years, Gliderol has been manufacturing and installing garage doors for South Australian homes. Spring is almost here, so why not improve the street appeal and value of your most prized possession? Order a new Gliderol door with operator before the end of September and you'll receive 2 extra handsets. Plus, we'll remove your existing door for free. Call Gliderol for a free measure and quote on 1300 799 144 or go to gliderol.com.au. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
Drive long enough in this country and you learn a thing or two about how Australia rolls. First kisses, last calls, big nights, fresh starts. And when we say we'll show up, we bloody show up.
Hey, mate. Can we swing past drive-through?
Of course, mate. This isn't a side gig. It's our life. I'm with 13 Cabs, and this is how we roll.
Download the app. Book 13 Cabs.
It's Australia's oldest field day and it keeps getting better. The York Peninsula Field Days are must for anyone in agriculture, but you don't need to be a farmer to love it.
3 big days at Baskerville, Tuesday 30th September to Thursday 2nd of October. There's over 500 exhibitors across a massive site with the latest machinery and tech, plus lifestyle and entertainment all day.
See working sheepdogs, shearing, drone demos, the tractor pull, and a steam tractor in action, and also browse clothes, jewellery, crafts and food.
Authors Mem Fox and Tricia Stringer are appearing, and there's plenty for kids with the Little Ag Play Space and the Greens Plains Children's Track.
Gates are open 9 to 5, parking's free, kids under 12 get in free. Teens only $5, with adults $22 online or $25 at the gate. Visit ypfielddays.com.au and buy your tickets today.
The SUV you haven't met yet. A Motor JQ has arrived, and Morford Vale is the only place you'll find them. Premium looks, smart tech, designed for beach getaways, back road breaks, and school runs with flair. Plus an 8-year warranty and Australia's first future price promise. You won't just love the ride, you'll love the peace of mind. Only available at a Motor JQ Morford Vale. Built for this wild life. Wildly cool. Main South Road. T's and C's apply.
Life's a journey. As you grow older, every step should bring you more of what you want. And at ECH, they understand that. As one of SA's largest retirement living and home care providers, ECH offers more in every sense. More help at home, more support with your health, or the perfect new home to downsize to. ECH won't tell you where you should be, but they'll always support you to get more out of life. Visit ech.asn.au or call ECH today.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
I'm bugging. This is Democracy Manifest.
They're eating the dogs. I tell you what, any boss who sacks anyone for not turning up today is a bum.
Matt's.
If you're watching on the Facebook and YouTube live stream, you'll see Matt Abraham has joined us in the 5AA Breakfast studio. Good morning to you, Matt.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, David. And the Baskerville Field Days.
Yes.
They're,
you excited?
Yeah, I have a very strong memory of a Baskerville Field Day, and I got talking to a tractor salesman, and people have this, whenever I get somebody to come out with a quote, like a tradie, inevitably they start telling me about how their marriage broke up. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's my superpower.
Yeah.
But it's one I
they look
don't
at you and
want.
go, this guy will understand.
And then anyway, this tractor salesman was telling me about his marriage breakup. He's pretty cut up about it. And
hope she didn't write him one of those John Deere letters.
No.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
You just ruined my joke.
Oh, mate.
He got a John Deere letter. That's a
Was that your joke? You and I, we need to get out.
David.
We're like separated at birth.
Should
You ruined it.
Do you want to rate it for cutting off someone's joke?
Matt's.
I should have been faster.
I'm going to leave the studio. It's a big 0 out
You
of
were
10.
telling a serious story.
Well, that's why it would have been
Oh, Matt.
great joke.
What about the Jules thing the other day, though?
I know.
I'm just going to sit here and shut up.
You don't want my life. It's fine. Yours is a lot more fun.
Oh, my God.
Dear. Now, this time last week, a Stephen Mulligan was still Treasurer.
He was.
Susan Close was still Deputy Premier and Climate Minister.
Yep. The new ones hadn't
not.
been sworn in.
That announcement came. Well, first of all, it was sat on for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
By the Premier, during which the Treasurer did one overseas trip as Treasurer. You reckon they might have saved that for Tom Koutsantonis? He might have liked that one. It really is an interesting move so close to the election. Susan Close, I get. She's a lot closer to, so to speak, to retirement. I don't know whether the faction sort of shoulder tapped her or that's the left faction or her little group, as she referred to it in one interview. But
her little group.
Her little group, yes. Whether she was shoulder tapped or discussions took place about, look, maybe time to make way for a younger person, a fresh talent. That's possible. I'm not putting aside, by the way, the genuine reasons they gave publicly for quitting politics and leaving the ministry. I think she'll be missed as a presence alongside Peter Malinauskas. I think, having if for no other reason, having a man and a woman leadership team, I think is very strong. And we see that with Anthony Albanese and Penny Wong. I know she's not Deputy Premier, but she might as well be. Deputy Prime Minister, I should say. So we'll put Susan Close into that category. Stephen Mulligan is, to me, a real mystery. Because, okay, I know he's got a young family, but so do a lot of ministers. So does Tom Koutsantonis. A lot of them have got young families. But him pulling the pin, and I think for Peter Malinauskas, he will really miss Stephen Mulligan because, every press conference that they've given in their budget lockups, he has made the fact that, we were in student politics together, we went to uni together, and we used to sit down over a beer and discuss how we change the world together in politics. He speaks very fondly of him. So I think he'll be missed, on that level. And I sort of wonder, though, whether it's almost the biggest challenge or threat to the Malinauskas government is the Malinauskas factor. Because if you're in a political party, there'd be quite a few people in federal Labor thinking, if I play my cards right, I can be Prime Minister.
And with that burgeoning backbench as well.
Yeah. If you're in the Malinauskas government, you would say, if I play my cards right, I'm never going to be Premier. Because this guy will be Premier as long as he wants to be Premier. And if you're a young and ambitious politician, are you thinking like Stephen Mulligan? Well, this is as good as it gets.
The ceiling's a little bit lower than you might have thought going into the gig, isn't it?
Do you reckon though, Matt? Part of what you just said invites another question. Peter Malinauskas will be Premier for as long as he wants to be Premier. How long do you think he wants to be Premier?
Well, if you've got ministers effectively getting bored, and I think that could be a problem for them because, he's Mr. Fix-It. You look at how thin his ranks are now that Stephen Mulligan has gone or is going and Susan Close is going. I would think, how bored will Peter Malinauskas get? He does make it look easy. It must be easy. Would he then be considering a run at federal politics? And if you look at the page one of, and I know he says he's not, but I don't believe it. I know he says he's not, but there are a lot of people who, the day he was elected, former leaders of the Labor Party, who were saying that Mally's going to be the next Labor Prime Minister. This guy, you just watch this guy go.
Well, he got a massive national run yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, that front page, gas for green goals, Mally, with, like the $1 million smile, great big photo, and the front page of the Australian, that's going straight to the pool room, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, and again, as happened with the world headline making, and I'm not saying that in a sycophantic way, I'm just saying it because it's exactly what it was. It's been discussed overnight in New York at the UN General Assembly. The social media ban started here as an idea in Adelaide from our Premier, and then him and Chris Minns, the New South Wales Premier, buddied up on it. Minns jumped on board. that gas story yesterday on the front page of the National Broadsheet is Malinauskas leading the charge on behalf of Minns. This is about them standing up to the Labor left, the Greens, the Victorian Labor Party.
And Chris Bowen, Climate Minister.
Yeah.
Who sort
saying,
of mumbles the word gas.
Yeah.
Gas.
Yeah, correct. It's a national thing that he's done.
Yeah, he's belling the cat. He's saying we can't have a renewable grid or a grid that's heavily reliant on renewables without gas.
We've sort of known that since the 2016 blackout here, haven't we?
Well, exactly. And we also know here that renewables don't deliver cheaper power. We've had, at one stage, the most expensive power in the world, and I think we're probably still, I'm not sure if this is still the case, but got the most expensive power in Australia. And that is because we have heavily subsidised renewables. Matter of fact, you'd have to think, why wouldn't why wouldn't Peter Malinauskas move to the federal sphere? Let's say another term, towards the end of next term. We've got 4-year terms. This one feels like it's been going on for 20 years, but doesn't it? I mean,
it does personal though. Well, there's been no fight. There's no stoush. There's no narrative. No, we're talking about ministers getting bored.
I know.
Do you? He ostensibly said with that Santos story, reading it in the Oz, that. Well, sorry, not Santos, the gas story.
Which was Santos.
He was doing it on, almost on behalf of Santos, the South Australian company, as a thought experiment. Does he walk into a job, Peter Malinauskas, while we're imagining a future?
Blue skying here.
Does he walk into a job as the CEO of an ASX 200 listed company?
Well, he could do that, but I doubt he'd want to do that.
Well,
I mean,
so the average wage, it is. Well, forget Malinauskas, I think Mulligans and others. This is what we're up against in politics. The average wage at the latest report on an ASX 100 CEO is $4.15 million. What is it in politics? 300 if you're the Premier?
Yeah. Matter of fact, he'd get a pay rise if he quit as Premier and became head of one of his own departments.
Yeah, that's right.
They all would.
There are lures, powerful lures beyond...
Yeah. You know what I reckon his dream job would be? AFL chairman. Seriously.
He could do that on the side, couldn't he?
He'd do a better job than Richard Goyder.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
I don't know why, for instance, Peter Malinauskas, if he's looking for a bit of excitement, couldn't have taken on Treasury, and at least until after the next election, as Jay Weatherill did, took on Treasury about a year out from an election because he wanted to control the agenda very strongly. And I would think Peter Malinauskas could have done that, taken on Treasury. He would have been able to leave Tom Koutsantonis in transport with the South Road thing, which is now actually happening. It's quite an eye-opener after talking about it for so long, but you drive along South Road now and you can see, wow, this thing's sort of charging ahead. So he could have done that. He could have left Tom Koutsantonis where he was. I think Tom Koutsantonis, however, was a good treasurer. I think he'll be a good treasurer who'll be happy to get back into that role. He's happy to get back into that role. He's probably coasting a little bit as Transport Minister.
And tactically, you need someone to make the tough announcements.
And he is a tough cookie.
Yeah.
And this is a story I can almost tell out of school. Helen and our best man was one of my schoolmates, Kev Crathen, who you interviewed, who was having a stoush with he and his partner were having a stoush with the Transport Department over this huge sort of transformer thing, a currency converter that was being built in front of their house without consultation. And in the end, the head of the department came down personally to visit them, spent about an hour with him. I think in the end they couldn't get rid of him, the head of the Transport Department. This is the CEO. Came down. I've heard that when, and I said on air that he was my best man, and it's possible Kev Corduroy was modelled on Kev Crathen. When I, apparently, Tom Koutsantonis rang his CEO and said, who do I have to fire for deciding to put this giant thing in front of Matt Abraham's best man's house? Give me 5 names and I'll fire one of them. And I think I'm giving you the sanitised version.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I haven't heard this from Koutsantonis himself. I haven't. But That is his style. It is very rambunctious style, to say the least.
It almost sounds like something that would have come up in cross-examination with Bruce Lander.
We might take a break.
I'm sure it was all done in jest. I'm sure it was all done in jest.
We'll check traffic and come back with a triple-headed spin from Matt Abraham next.
Morning there. Roads looking pretty good for the run-in today. Racks and breakdown free. So that's a nice start for Thursday, isn't it? Ottaway have urgent electrical works there. Grand Junction Road at Eastern Parade. Got detours in place and speeds reduced through there. A little bit busy now at Flinders Park, Holbrooks Road near Grange Road, and it is getting sluggish south road at Karata Park. That's just near Anzac Highway. Cameras, Penfold Road, Roslyn Park, and got one right now, Robe Terrace, North Adelaide. Just look for the big van with the funny windows. The 40 Winks Mates Rates member sale is on now. Sign up to be a member for up to 50% off mattresses and up to 30% off furniture. Limited time only. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Don't miss the cheapest chips Chippy Rewards super sale. On now.
Cheapest chips.
Members get 40% off Dreamcom mattresses and mattress toppers. Sign up and start saving. Offer ends this Sunday. Live cheaper with the Chippy Rewards super sale at Cheapest Chips.
The Dutch Pantry in Klemzig is home to all things Amsterdam. You'll find Dutch products, fresh produce, and a cafe bursting with delicious Dutch meals, but most importantly, the Dutch Sugar and Spice Bakery, specialising in Dutch cakes.
Now, how's this for tradition? Angela, the owner, learnt each recipe from her mum, who learnt from her mum, who learnt from, you guessed it, her mum.
Ange takes orders, so you can call ahead or try your luck on the day, but you'd better get in early because, understandably, they do sell out quickly.
And just ask about her Dutch vanilla slice, Dutch apple strudel, or her bestseller, the baked Dutch speculoos cheesecake made with Biscoff.
Taste the Netherlands at every bite at the Dutch Sugar and Spice Bakery, part of the Dutch Pantry, located on OG Road, Clemzig. Just look for the big windmill.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes. A multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Let's talk about Harvey Norman's September sellout. It's on right now. Grab yourself an HP 15S Intel Core i5 laptop. Super hot sellout price, now just $698. Genuine value and great for general use, including email, video calls, any office work, and for students. Or save $500 on the Lenovo Ryzen AI5 laptop with 24 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD, slashed to just $998. Gamers, this one's for you. The Acer Nitro V with Intel Core i9 and RTX 4050 graphics is an amazing deal at only $1398. There are more sellout savings in-store and online.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Hi, Daniel Talia here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Put simply, we buy homes. If you've received a letter from us in your mailbox, don't throw it away. You may be throwing away a golden opportunity to sell your home at market value. With zero effort, advertising fees or commissions, you'll save thousands of dollars. If you've received a letter from us, it means we're serious about buying your home. For more info, visit home.com.au. That's HAUME.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
5 to 8, Matt Abraham in the 5AA Breakfast studio with us. Is it time for spin? Well, I should probably turn you on so you can respond to me.
I'm not going to say any more. I might guess one of you.
Should have been your mic I turned off.
You probably will. Please turn it off. Yes, here we go.
Okay, federal Liberal frontbencher Andrew Hastie is making possibly the sort of least subtle attempt to roll Susan Lee by saying he'll threaten, he's threatening to quit quit his position on the opposition frontbench if they don't dump net zero. And then he posted this video of him with this beautiful bright red, 1971 Ford XY GTHO, which I think is the peak, obviously, the ultimate motoring achievement in Australia. This big 350 cubic inch V8. This is his little spiel. I've edited it slightly.
To remind myself that we used to make cars in this country. Check this car out. It's a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. It's horsepower, it's heritage, it's grit, and it's an Aussie car made by Aussie workers for the Australian people. And now Anthony Albanese and Labor are trying to cut us off forever from our proud heritage. They want to fill our streets with silent, soulless cars made in China, packed with tech that we didn't design and that we don't control.
Andrew Hastie from Prime Minister. This is now. Let's. I had to get a sound of a 1971 Ford XY GTHO. They probably sell for about $200,000 now. These cars. They are absolutely terrifying to drive. This is a guy called Justin Sloan taking one for a fang in the streets of Port Lincoln in 2017.
Australia, isn't it? It gets the blood going. Do you know what I particularly like is how it's spinning the wheels in first gear, second gear, third gear. That was, by the way, part of a proper, some sort of sprint that they have. It's all, he wasn't just hooning around the streets of Port Lincoln. Andrew Hastie for a 350 cubic inch gets 3.5 on the speedometer. Now, you may not have missed this, but Donald Trump has been he was in Britain, and it was fantastic, actually. This thing I play is just beautiful because not just what Donald Trump's saying, but he's praising the King here, King Charles. And you know those send-ups of the King with the puppets, and he's always trying to loosen his collar when he gets embarrassed? That's exactly what he's doing when Donald Trump is saying this.
I'll tell you that I just stood in line and shook about 150 hands. And the King knew every single person and every single company, and some of them had bad names like XYZ-Q3, and he knew every one of them, or at least I think he did, because nobody was complaining. I was very impressed with that.
They had really bad names.
XYZ.
And the King's there trying to loosen his bow tie, going, "Where's this going?"
That's superb.
It was actually a beautiful moment. It's always a target-rich environment with Donald Trump, but he's getting a nice, solid, regal 5 out of 10 on this. Magnificent work. He wouldn't tell any jokes around David, though. He wouldn't.
No. Still not talking.
Well, better luck.
You'll be all right. You'll get over it.
Better luck telling jokes the rest of the day, Matt. Good to have you. And we'll catch you next week.
I'm not sure if you will. Good on you, Matt.
See you, Matt.
Pleasure.
You've worked hard, raised families, built a life. Now it's your time. At Living Choice Flagstaff Hill Retirement Village, wellness and comfort aren't extras. They're every day. Retirement is your time to focus on living well by taking advantage of the magnesium pool, staying active in the gym, or unwinding in the cinema with friends. Here, luxury living meets lasting well-being with beautiful move-in ready apartments waiting for you. Discover the retirement you deserve. Book your tour today at livingchoice.com.au.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. They'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash. And your breakfast or lunch is on them. Your car gets the love too with their state-of-the-art service centre, brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, they'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy and 20 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Manage complex neurological conditions at Neurophysio in Eastwood with treatment and group classes. neurophysio.com.au.
A man is in custody after a police chase and standoff. Police were called to Kensington Gardens around 12:30 this morning following reports of a domestic disturbance. On arrival, they located a man and woman inside a parked SUV. The vehicle sped off. Senior Constable Liam Bennett says it was tracked to a unit complex at Hove.
The man took the woman inside a unit and officers established cordons around the address. Police negotiators and Star Group officers attended the scene and attempted to negotiate with the man. Just after 3 o'clock, Star officers entered the unit and they took the man into custody.
The 28-year-old from Vale Park is expected to face several charges. European leaders have been inspired by the story of an Australian mother who lost her daughter to online bullying. Emma Mason has addressed an event on the sidelines of the UN summit to explain why a social media ban for under-16s is necessary. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says it's a bold decision.
It's an example of what determined countries can do. Since the announcement of Australia's landmark minimum age law, I've been watching very closely, and I've been inspired by Australia's example.
Foreign Minister Penny Wong has met with her Iranian counterpart on the sidelines of the UN a month after Iran's ambassador to Australia was expelled. Last month, ASIO revealed Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps was responsible for directing 2 anti-Semitic attacks. Senator Wong has told the ABC she made it clear to her counterpart the government stands by the expulsion.
I made clear we accept the advice. We have confidence in the assessments of Australian security agencies. On that basis, Iran crossed a line that was unacceptable to Australia and to Australians.
Choice has named Aldi the cheapest supermarket for home brand groceries. An average 8-item basket came in at just over $20 at the German supermarket chain, compared to nearly $24 at an IGA. But the Consumer Group's Mark Sorrell says price differences between stores are starting to shrink.
We've changed the way we're doing the survey. We focused almost exclusively on home brand products for this quarter. I think it was about 7% difference. So I think all the supermarkets tend to be quite competitively priced.
James Bond will remain a man and the next actor to play 007 will be British. The director of Bond 26 wants a fresh face in the role, aged in their late 20s to early 30s, which has fuelled speculation after the ending of No Time to Die that the next movie will be an origin story. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Adelaide is set to lose head of high performance Darren Burgess to Italian soccer giants Juventus. The club based in the city of Turin has released a statement saying he'll take over there as director of performance. The loss of Burgess may also hurt the chances of luring Christian Petrarca. The pair worked together when Burgess was at the D's during their premiership season back in 2021. Well, Port Adelaide looks to be right in the hunt for Gold Coast midfielder Braden Fiorini. The unrestricted free agent was in town yesterday to tour Alberton, and he told Channel 9 he's trying to work out what's best for his career.
Considering all options, like obviously free agent this year, and we love it on the Goldie, so just assessing all options, mate.
Would you like a bit more opportunity? Is that part of the consideration as well?
Part of it, but obviously played most of the year this year with the Goldie, so it's not the be-all and end-all, but just assessing all options for me and my family.
Meantime, Brisbane star Lachie Neale will face a fitness test in Melbourne today to assess whether he can play in Saturday's grand final against Geelong. He's currently carrying a calf injury. Let's get to cricket. South Australia is still looking for its first win of the season after going down to WA by 66 runs in a one-dayer at Karen Rolton Oval. Nathan McSweeney did not play as he's currently on duty for Australia A against India A in Lucknow. The 26-year-old will resume on 11 in the Aussies' second innings on day 3 of their match. He made 74 in the first innings. To soccer, and Ange Postecoglou's Nottingham Forest have played out an entertaining 2-2 draw against Real Betis. That was in their first Europa League clash for the season. Meantime, in the League Cup, Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester City and Newcastle all advanced to the 4th round with wins this morning. And Katrina Powell has resigned as Hockeyroos head coach after 4.5 years in the role. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
G'day there, got to smash at Glengarry to look out for. Morford Road near Beadnell Terrace delays inbound, just near the Morfordville Racecourse there. Slow for works at Ottaway, urgent electrical works there. Grand Junction Road near Eastern Parade. And got a camera this morning, Robe Terrace, North Adelaide. That is there right now. The Big Points Blitz is back this week at Woolworths. Double your everyday rewards points on every shop, in-store or online at Woolworths this week. Offer ends September 30th. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA weather, 20 today and partly cloudy, 21 tomorrow, partly cloudy. The weekend, Saturday a shower or two, 18. Sunday a possible shower, also 18. Right now it's 14 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Aldi's whole free-range chicken is now only $4.49 a kilo. It's so free-range that it might not come back.
Oi! That's my car, you chicken! No, 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 no!
Aussie chicken at Aldi prices. Aldi, good different.
Well, I got to talk about tractors again. It's Australia's oldest field days, and it keeps getting better. The York Peninsula Field Days are a must for anyone in ag, but you don't need to be a farmer to love it.
3 big days at Pascoeville, Tuesday 30th September to Thursday 2nd of October. There's over 500 exhibitors across a massive site with the latest machinery and tech, plus lifestyle and entertainment all day.
See working sheepdog, shearing, drone demos, the tractor pull and a steam tractor in action. Browse clothes, jewellery, crafts and foods.
Authors Mem Fox and Tricia Stringer are appearing, and there's plenty for kids with the little ag play space and the Greens Plains Children's Track.
It's such a great day. Gates open 9 to 5. Parking's free. Kids under 12 get in for nothing. Teens only cost $5. Adults $22 online or $25 at the gate. For more info, visit ypfielddays.com.au and buy your tickets today.
Life's a journey. As you grow older, every step should bring you more of what you want. And at ECH, they understand that. As one of SA's largest retirement living and home care providers, ECH offers more in every sense. More help at home, more support with your health, or the perfect new home to downsize to. ECH won't tell you where you should be, but they'll always support you to get more out of life. Visit ech.asn.au or call ECH today. Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Everywhere you go.
It's game.
We have AFL Grand Final tickets that we're giving away this hour. It is happening this hour. There is no tomorrow in this competition. There's another clue. We'll try and potentially give it away the normal way we do each day. And then if it doesn't go off, we're just going to keep giving clues and keep giving you chances to call in until we ultimately send someone to the AFL Grand Final.
It's happening now, isn't it?
Soon.
Very soon.
There's a bit of Crows breaking news around this morning, or a bit of Crows related news that we should talk about before we do get to breaking day. We mentioned, and you've heard in 5AA News, the concerning off-field story about Darren Burgess leaving to go to Juventus, which we understand he went. It was essentially a you can't say no to this opportunity. I understand he was offered somewhere well in excess of 3 times what he was getting at the Adelaide Football Club. The good news, heartening for Crows fans, inquiries we've made would suggest that they haven't been entirely left in the lurch and wondering, well, what are we going to do? There is someone that they have in mind to fill the role that comes highly recommended by Darren Burgess. So,
is there a name yet?
I'm sure they have a name. I don't have a name. I just know that they are comfortable with what the evolution of that department is going to be. That this is not like we came in this morning, got a text from someone saying, have you seen the Juventus press release? Which we're pretty thorough, but we're not quite across everything that goes on in the Serie A. However, the Crows were aware of what was going on. They have a succession plan in mind. That's some good news. The other thing that's good news, and I can't believe the Adelaide Football Club hasn't made more of a song and dance about this, about the process of listening to fan disgruntlement and then responding in a really positive way. But fans online have noticed a footnote in some recent information regarding memberships for 2026 that includes this paragraph. The club intends that the AFL Final Series tickets for club home finals at Adelaide Oval will be made available to members in Priority Group 1 before they are made available to members in Priority Group 2. Members should be aware the AFL Final Series tickets for club home finals at Adelaide Oval may be exhausted during Priority Group 1, in which case AFL Final Series tickets for such finals will not be made available to members in Priority Group 2. Now, to decode that...
Well, that's what people were asking for.
The problem with the way finals tickets were allocated this year, and we're inundated with hard luck stories from people who said, hey, I've been a gold member for 30 years. How can it be that I missed out on tickets? Well, the club, it looks like to us, and we've confirmed this with them this morning, that they have made a change to how AF Finals ticketing will work for home games at Adelaide Oval for 2026, and it means that there will be priority access for people. That won't just be an all-in, whether you're a three-game... I spoke to someone who their grandchild had a one-game or three-game membership because of a Little League appearance.
And they got tickets.
Yeah, other members of the family were gold members and didn't. Now... I think that's a terrific story. I can't believe they haven't said, you spoke and we listened. We're doing this. I think it's a good news story. But in any case, the end result is that the Adelaide Football Club have listened, and there will be changes to how ticketing is done next year. And that sounds to me more in line with the way Fremantle did it this year, and they were lauded for it. So that's a positive change. So a bit going on at West Lakes this morning. We will talk more footy shortly. Grand final tickets not too far away.
Well, this is a really disturbing story for the Edge Early Learning Plympton. In the last 24 hours, this massive groundswell of mothers in Adelaide who've got their own private Facebook group. It's been inundated with dozens and dozens of messages from parents who are specifically concerned about the Edge Early Learning in Plympton, but also it looks like potentially other edges as well. The reputational damage that this 2-week shutdown is doing to this centre, where a student trainee left 2 kids unattended, forced the state government to intervene immediately, I think rightly. Now, these messages, they speak for themselves. We will be pulling our son out effective immediately. This is the last straw. Like many other families, we can't just wait around. And there's another reply to that saying, yep, we're doing the same thing too. Then there's another one. I'm pulling my son out effective immediately. We've had 2 injuries that my son has sustained in the past 2 weeks that I wasn't even notified about. One being a head injury with a suspected fractured nose. Then emails were completely ignored. Took 9 days to get any clarification. Another one here. My heart breaks for all of you mums. We left a couple of weeks ago as we saw it going downhill. I've been in your position with a day's notice of leaving. I haven't stayed quiet. We're devastated to leave, but the staff and more importantly our children didn't deserve that. Another one here. So many emotions right now. We have no choice but to move. We're not beating this up. This is message after message, and it begs the question, what is the ongoing business model going to be for this private childcare provider? We have a mum who has kids at the Edge in Plympton on the line now, Eliza. Eliza, good morning. I'm not sure if you've seen or are aware of these messages, but they do suggest a huge degree of concern among mums.
Yeah, good morning. It is really tricky, isn't it? We can all only speak from our own perspective and our own experience with the centre. I have been there for 4 years and currently have 2 kids who attend the centre. I can totally understand the frustrations that the parents feel, especially over the last few weeks. We did have some change in management, and I'll be honest, it was an absolute nightmare. And unfortunately, as a result of that, all of this chaos has erupted. I know, a lot of things might be long-term and, everyone has their own experience, but for me, this was really distressing because we have had nothing but an incredible experience. We have had some of the most involved educators who care so deeply for these kids. And so my perspective is, it is so hard to watch this centre be kicked while it's down, essentially. We have educators who are family to us, and, people forget about them in this process because at a local level, they're the ones that are sitting there in the firing line. I guess the decision to close the centre wasn't a decision made by them. It was the directive. And so, they're sending out that message and that puts them, I guess, in as a target for everyone's frustration. But, they're doing what they can with the information that they are being given.
Yeah.
But, you know, I that message about, you know, someone whose child who had like a head injury that they weren't made aware of, you know, that kind of stuff is really distressing. And, you know, I absolutely don't take away from that and the severity of that. But I do also really want to highly acknowledge that we were under management that did not have the best interest of our families at heart. And so I just wonder, you know, had that not have been happening at the time, if all of these issues would have erupted.
I guess the stressful thing too, Eliza, is we all know how tight it can be getting a spot in childcare for parents who are, you know, earning a certain sort of fixed income. You've got transport considerations. You might have other kids who are at primary school too. So there's geographical considerations. Pulling your child out of a childcare centre is a big deal, isn't it?
And honestly, like for us, it's something that we're having to consider against our will. Like you're saying, like my husband and I both work full time, and we, like most families, our family are working families, so we don't have support that we can, you know, rely on during the week. We all have to take care of ourselves. So
yeah.
I'm really lucky. I've got a really supportive workplace who totally understand what I'm going through. So, you know, I'm home today with my children. But unfortunately for us, it is a matter of having to look around for other childcare options because, you know, we just can't stay home for 2 weeks with these kids. And it is tricky, but, you know, gratefully for the families who live close to the edge at Clinton, there are some other options that have been posed, other edge sites that are happy to take on kids. But for us, like we moved away from the centre but kept our kids there because they just loved it so much and we had such a close-knit relationship with the educators there that we, like my husband was making an hour round trip out of his way to take the kids there because we couldn't bear the thought of moving them out. So now, you know, very heartbreakingly, it is time for us to unfortunately move on. But in doing that, it's not, you know, we're not doing it because we're super angry and have had enough. We're doing it because logistically and financially we have no choice. Yeah. Hey, Eliza, thanks for sharing your story. Eliza, mum of kids at the Edge in Plympton, and we will be talking to the Education Minister Blair Boyer after 8:30 about this case.
Just received a traffic report. There's been a crash on Morfett Road near Beadnell Terrace that's causing massive delays for traffic heading towards Anzac Highway. That's something to be wary of this morning. We're going to check traffic more broadly, but I'm going to give you the heads up right here and now. On the other side of this break, we're giving away AFL Grand Final tickets. Oh. So what I would suggest, if you want to get along, flights, accommodation, tickets, all included, I would start calling now and I wouldn't stop until we've given them away. 8223 0000. AFL Grand Final tickets given away next.
Morning there at Glengarry, a smash on Morfett Road near Beadnell Terrace causing quite big delays city-bound. Ottawa, urgent electrical works there. Grand Junction Road at Eastern Parade. Detours in place, speeds reduced, so that is sluggish as you'd expect. A bit slow for works at Flinders Park, Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. Cameras, Glenburn Road, Burnside. I've got one right now, Robe Terrace at North Adelaide. Cocoa Republic Spring Sale ends Monday. Now is your last chance to shop 25% off store-wide at Cocoa Republic. In-store or at cocoarepublic.com.au. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
Brad Scott, he wants to get rid of the sup.
Coaches would like to just go to 5 on the bench.
What about grit and fight?
Some of our best wins were when you had no bench.
Correct. I'll go to a quote my wife always says to me, too bad, too sad. If you get injuries, that's part of the game.
The 5AA Sports Show.
We're regulating or coaching out grit, fight.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs and California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
When your youngest finishes school and pick up and drop off become a distant memory. When the neighbours no longer have loud music to complain about. When you wake up and fall asleep to the sound of silence because the kids have flown the nest. If only it happened sooner. Semi-retirement, disposable income and infinite time to spend it. You're a super consumer. If you run a business that'd like to reach the consumer we call the trifecta, speak to us here at 5AA.
Experience the very best of over 50s living at Northern Community Residential Village in Penfield. Set in a serene and peaceful setting, Northern Community Residential Village offers a low-maintenance lifestyle amongst a welcoming community of like-minded people. A new release of stunning homes is now selling from just $450,000. Book a tour of the display home today and picture how bright your future could be. Visit ncrv.com.au for more information.
Some milk on our shelves travels further than you do on holiday. Not milk from Fleurieu Milk Company. Our milk is proudly homegrown, home bottled and delivered straight from the rolling paddocks of South Australia's Fleurieu Peninsula. Freshness isn't a buzzword for us. We live and breathe it 24 hours a day. When you buy from Fleurieu Milk Company, you're supporting our incredible farming families and doing SA proud. Look for Fleurieu Milk Company in your supermarket.
Right now at Formula Honda, drive away in the CR-V Hybrid 24 build from $56,900 or the Honda ZR-V Hybrid 24 build from $51,900. That's a price reduction of $3,000. Plus, get 8 years unlimited kilometre warranty and roadside assist across the entire SUV range. But you'd better hurry. These offers are only available until September 30. T's and C's apply. Test drive at Formula Honda today. Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond or North East Road, Modbury.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
23 minutes after 8. Should we send someone off to the AFL Grand Final, do you think?
Yes, let's do it.
We've been building up for the last, what are we at now, 9 days? 8 days before. We've had 8 clues. This is clue number 9. We're all pointing to a mystery footballing identity. If you're the first to identify them correctly, you're off to the 2025 Toyota AFL Grand Final. AFL authorised GF promotion, GFAFL 24/148. Now, you get the tickets, obviously. You also get the flights over there and accommodation all taken care of for you. What an experience. Every footy fan should get to go to an AFL Grand Final at some point in their football fandom.
It's quite moving, I reckon.
Yeah.
2017 was sort of moving in all sorts of ways.
Oh, yeah. You move out of there fast enough.
When you sort of look up and you see it's filling up and then the anthem, like it's just exhilarating.
The phone lines are melting down. I suspect our listeners feel like they've got this one. The clue yesterday moved it ever so slightly closer in a direction, and this morning the phone lines are absolutely melting down. They haven't stopped ringing since before the break, but the first person to get through on air is Emily in Paralowie. Emily, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good, thank you, Emily. Have you ever been to a AFL Grand Final before?
I have not, no.
Who's your footy team, Emily?
It's the Crows.
Oh. Well, if they'd made it this year, were you going to try and find a way to go?
I would have tried to win tickets, definitely.
Yeah.
But, I think it was hard enough to get tickets to the finals, so I think going for a grand final ticket is just impossible.
Yeah. You were. It sounds like you were probably younger in 97 and 98.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't in the ticket buying business at that particular point
Definitely
in time.
not. No. I do remember Mum lining up for her just her season tickets overnight at the entertainment centre though when I was a kid.
You know the tickets are going off this morning, so if you don't get it right, we're just going to keep taking guesses until it gets through. Yeah. So have you heard every clue, or have you had a team of people collecting them for you?
Not all of them. So I missed one, and my mum's given me that clue. But,
okay.
I'm not 100% on that one because my guess just falls outside of that clue. So I don't know if she's correct with the clue or, but we'll see.
All right. Step us through what the clues you've heard, what you understand them to be, and how it helps you get to your answer.
So all the clues have been the same as what everyone else has been saying with the year of birth.
Oh, hang on. You know what, Beverly, hang on. Whoa. I've missed I've jumped the gun because I didn't give you today's clue.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was just going to start taking your answer. You haven't even heard today's clue.
Come on, Will.
Okay, what is it?
Today's clue is 8 times All-Australian. 8 times All-Australian. I don't know if that's going to change your answer. I hope I haven't totally discombobulated you, Emily.
No, maybe I am too young for that one.
8 times All-Australian.
Do you want my answer or you want to go through the clues?
No.
Yeah, you go through the clues. See what you...
Well, the clue that I'm not sure on is how many games he's played.
Okay.
So if it's just over 230, then I'm hoping my answer is correct. But Mum seems to think it's between 230 and 270. So
your mum's not right. So
okay. Well, my answer is Patrick Dangerfield.
And how does that connect with the clues? The Danger Man, former 5AA breakfast guest, he was playing this weekend. In fact, yeah,
he is. Yeah. So the yellow, born in 1990, born in April. He's 35. He also wears 35. Yeah.
How many times has he been All-Australian, Danger? Let me have a look. It's interesting. Emily, the answer is Patrick Dangerfield. You are going to see Patrick Dangerfield playing this weekend on the MCG at the AFL Grand Final. Congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Who are you going to take with you?
I have to take Mum. She just tackled me with a hug.
Off the ball. Hey, that's excellent, Emily.
Your mum sort of helped you out, but she almost might have derailed the whole thing because it was
trust your mother.
It was over 230 games. Over 230 games played.
Thank you.
So you and Mum getting to go along. Now, given Patrick was the right answer, does it mean you're going to be cheering for Geelong, or are you going for Brisbane this weekend?
Oh, definitely Patrick. Yeah. Have to now.
Oh, well, have you ever been away with your mum on a family trip or anything, Emily, to Melbourne or anything like that?
We did. We took all the girls at our family are football crazy, and the men aren't. And we do a girls' trip. Me and my daughters and my mum over to Melbourne. We try and watch one game a year. Unfortunately, we haven't had a win over there yet. So when we've been, so
yeah.
Oh, you get one.
Yeah. Oh, how awesome!
That's fantastic, Emily. Well, we're delighted that you and your mum can get along. And has she been to a grand final before?
No, she hasn't. No.
Oh, you're going to have the best day together.
She's been over for finals over there, but not a grand final.
Well, the ultimate.
That's cool.
Mum and daughter footy trip. Have the best time, Emily. We hope it's a cracking game for you and you have a great weekend in Melbourne.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much.
Good on you, Emily. We should check in next week with you and your mum, see how you both went as well.
Yeah,
we'll
I'll
get you
give
back
you a call
on.
back. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. No worries.
Patrick Dangerfield, who, gee whiz, how good was his prelim final? Will be starring for the Cats, you would imagine, on Saturday. Just to go through the clues, 1990 was the first clue. He's born in 1990. The number 35, he wears 35. The height was between 6 and 6'4". He is right in the middle of that range, 189 centimetres, 6'2". From West Lakes, he debuted. His footy career started, professional football career started at the Adelaide Football Club. It's obviously an odd number. The Crows are yellow. He was All-Australian more than 8 times, and he's played 359 games now.
Well,
Patrick Dangerfield.
Has he got another 2?
Who's going to tell him he can't play based on what he did last weekend?
I know. He's probably got another 2 seasons left in him, injuries not permitting.
They'll be able to nurse him through, play him as a forward.
Yeah.
It's hard to put a lid on Patrick Dangerfield's career. What a wonderful footballer, and our mystery footballing identity. Thanks to everyone who played. Commiserations to those that didn't make it through. I see Kate's pretty disappointed that she's been calling for 10 minutes a day for the last 2 weeks and couldn't get through. Sorry to you, Kate. It's a very popular competition. Lots of people trying to add their hand. And a lot of people, I think, felt they had it yesterday and couldn't get through.
Yeah.
We can tell you it. A lot of the texts we're getting would suggest people said, I knew it. I knew it. I just couldn't get through. That's half the game.
Well done, Emily, and Emily's mum. It's great, and thrilled that a lovely family from Paralawi that's never been to the grand final is heading over there for what's a very flash and fun weekend.
Get saving now with City Discount Tyres. We're offering great deals on the world's top brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts. Suitable for four-wheel drives, SUVs and passenger cars, including Falcon, Michelin, Pirelli, Kumho, Hankook and many more. Finance options available. Search citydiscounttyres.com.au and locate your nearest dealer today. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy and 20 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Treat dizziness, vertigo and motion sensitivity with vestibular physiotherapy. Visit neurophysio.com.au, part of Physio Extra Group.
Star Group officers converged on a unit complex at Hove in the early hours of this morning. There was a standoff following a police chase from Kensington Gardens, where a domestic disturbance had been reported around 12:30. Cordons were set up. This is how it played out.
You with your hands on the head, stand up. Male, you, stand up.
A 28-year-old man from Vale Park is in custody. A learner driver is in double trouble at Murray Bridge. The 19-year-old busted for hooning and being over the legal limit when breath tested. He reported a reading of .071. He's been reported for a string of offences, including driving unregistered and misuse of a motor vehicle. One of the big banks has allegedly fallen victim to one of the biggest frauds in Australia's history. Jack Hahn reports.
According to authorities, they arrested Chinese-born Michael Lee at the $18 million Crown Penthouse in Sydney. He's accused of directing a syndicate that used corrupt solicitors, real estate agents and mortgage brokers to snap up millions of dollars worth of property across Sydney. The SMH says it's believed he bribed NAB employees to turn a blind eye to dodgy documents to help approve applications. 14 people have been charged, accused of $105 million worth of fraud. No one from NAB has been arrested. Some have been stood down, subject to investigation.
The Communications Minister is promising to eyeball big tech when the under-16 social media ban comes into force in December. Australia has hosted an event on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly explaining the decision, with many world leaders showing their support. Annika Wells says she'll also be meeting with tech companies in New York.
These are pioneering, innovating, some of the richest companies in the world. They transact a lot of business and they make a lot of revenue off Australians here on our shore, and I think it's reasonable to ask them to use some of that tech and some of that revenue to look after our kids online.
The hunt for alleged cop killer Desi Freeman in Victoria is now sitting at 31 days. Authorities have failed to locate the armed fugitive after last month's fatal shooting at Paulpunka, despite launching one of Australia's largest ever police operations. Victoria Police say a $1 million reward for information leading to the 56-year-old's arrest has prompted more than 1,000 tip-offs. And in the US, a woman from Missouri has been sentenced for an outlandish plot to steal Graceland. She'll spend a minimum 4 years and 9 months in federal prison. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with Operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
What's happening with the Crows, Tom Wren?
Well, Darren Burgess is set to leave the club, Mel, after 4 years at West Lakes. He's set to return to the soccer world, with Juventus announcing he's going to join them as the Director of High Performance. Meantime, AFL Grand Final lineups will be named later today, with both teams facing big selection calls. Jordan Tunbridge reports.
Lachie Neale will undergo a rigorous fitness test in a closed training session today. The Lions co-captain looking to prove he has overcome a calf strain suffered in the first week of finals. It would be a remarkable return if Neale gets the all clear, having initially been ruled out for the rest of the year. Jared Berry is also in doubt after dislocating his shoulder for a second time in 5 weeks during the preliminary final. As for the Cats, Reece Stanley looks likely to replace concussed teammate Tom Stewart after being cleared of a hamstring issue, and Jack Henry is expected to hold his spot despite concerns over a rare foot complaint.
To basketball, Adelaide 36ers star Bryce Cotton says he's disappointed he won't be able to work with Montrezl Harrell this season. Cotton telling the 5AA Sports Show he was excited to see what they could do together.
With everything that's transpired, it's very unfortunate. I'm obviously wishing him nothing but the best, but it's just a very unfortunate situation.
Let's go to soccer, and Ange Postecoglou's Nottingham Forest have played out a 2-2 draw in their first Europa League match against Real Betis, while in the League Cup, Manchester City cruised through to the fourth round thanks to a 2-0 win against Huddersfield Town.
Foden turns, gets it back again, now he shoots, what a goal, Phil Foden!
Your audio thanks to Stan Sport. He scored one and set up the other wins also for Arsenal, Tottenham and Newcastle. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Otway, urgent electrical works on Grand Junction Road at Eastern Parade. Detours in place and speeds reduced. Slow at the moment at Flinders Park, Holbrooks Road near Grange Road for the ongoing intersection works, and starting to build at the moment at Queenstown Port Road near Webber Street for works. Cameras to Kettleville Terrace, Kent Town, and still get that one at Robe Terrace, North Adelaide to look out for. Krispy Kreme is bringing the joy with the Houses of Harry Potter donut collection. Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Slytherin and Gryffindor. Limited time only at OTR and Krispy Kreme stores. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, partly cloudy for your Thursday, heading for a top of 20, partly cloudy tomorrow, 21, back to 18 with a shower or two Saturday, a possible shower 18 on Sunday. Right now, it's 15 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Don't miss the Cheapest Chips Chippy Rewards Super Sale. On now.
Cheapest Chips.
Members get 40% off Dreamcom mattresses and mattress toppers. Sign up and start saving. Offer ends this Sunday. Live cheaper with the Chippy Rewards Super Sale at Cheapest Chips.
That was good, but for real satisfaction, Binge Basic is now just $4.99 a month for 12 months.
I love it!
Don't have Binge? Get it before October 20 and at $4.99. Now that's satisfying.
At Harvey Norman, buy now with no deposit 16 months interest-free on a participating Latitude credit card and get a bonus gift card up to $1,000. Furniture, bedding, TVs, fridges, computers and more. Shop with no deposit 16 months interest-free from Latitude Financial Services and get a bonus $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend. Monthly credit card fee currently $10.95 applies. New customers must be approved. Minimum finance $1,000. Equal monthly payment plan, T's and C's, charges and exclusions. Don't miss no deposit 16 months interest-free from Latitude at Harvey Norman now.
Imagine you have a dog bounding across your garden of lush green turf. He jumps, he rolls, he lays on his back, feet in the air and gives himself a good old scratch. A dog really knows how to appreciate grass. And you can appreciate yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The Turf Farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it. And importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
Hi, it's Wayne Phillips. We're celebrating. It's Wayne Phillips Ford's 40th anniversary. Come down and see us for a ripper anniversary deal on Ranger, Everest, Mustang, Transit van and more. We have a huge range in stock, ready to drive away, so come in and see us for an unbeatable deal with savings so good you'll have to see them for yourself. We won't be beaten on price. So for the best deal on a new Ford, drop in and see us now at the award-winning Wayne Phillips Ford, celebrating 40 years at Christie's Beach.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Twenty-two minutes to 9. Eddie Maguire's going to join us on the program very shortly in the build-up to the AFL Grand Final. Big special edition of the Footy Show that's on Channel 9 tonight. Lots to talk about with Eddie in the world of footy. We'll get to that in just a moment.
We heard during Breaking at 8 from Eliza, one of the mums who has children at the Edge Early Learning Centre in Plympton, the childcare centre that has been forced to close for 2 weeks after it was revealed that 2 children were left alone by a student carer. For all the latest on the situation, we're joined now by the Education Minister, Blair Boyer. Minister, good morning and thanks for joining us. Closing a centre like this, it's a big decision to take because obviously it causes a lot of dislocation for the parents, but I guess the seriousness of what you had found necessitated that.
Yes, that's right, and it is a serious step. I totally acknowledge that. It's not one that we take lightly. In fact, it's not really one that we've done for this length of time before. But as you said, I think we've got to back up our action, or back up our words rather, with action. I think in years gone by, we have probably failed to use all the powers that the regulator has available to them under the Act. And I think that breeds a bit of a culture in the sector of complacency where they think that it won't matter if they aren't meeting standards because no one's going to come and knock on the door and check. Now, we've changed that by really increasing their resources, and they've doubled their staff, and visits to centres have gone up by about 60%. So this is happening more. We're seeing more compliance action. Totally accept that it really puts parents out today. I totally acknowledge that, and I feel for those parents. But, I can't put convenience ahead of child safety, and we can't look parents in the eye and say we're doing everything we can if we pull our punches in cases like this.
Is there a broader issue with the profit motive and how it operates in the childcare space? I mean, I'm not, certainly if anyone is familiar with our show knows we're not massive let the government run everything people on this program. But when we're talking about kids and we're talking about, any organisation that's run with an eye to making money, does it run the risk that some cost-related decisions might be made that aren't in the interests of children?
Yes, I think it does. And I reckon I've even said on your show, Dave, before that I think one of the areas of greatest risk for any government is that point where the care for vulnerable people and the need to make a profit meet. And that's not to say that we should move to a system where we don't have private operators, because if we did that, there wouldn't be enough childcare or disability care or aged care for South Australians.
Yeah.
We can't do that. But what you do is you have an independent regulator, you resource them properly, and when you find bad practice, you actually take strong action. That's what you've got to do, and I don't think we've done enough of it in the past in this state. We've changed that, and it might be a little bit bumpy for a bit, but I think we're sending a really strong message through the sector, including those private equity groups that have moved in and are really shifting into long daycare, that if you don't meet standards, we will shut you down. And that's obviously got really serious implications for their viability and profitability.
Minister, Edge is obviously a very big childcare provider, and it's got a lot of other centres across Adelaide. Are you confident? Do you have any evidence that the issues that you have encountered in the case of the Plympton Centre, are they unique to that centre, or are there any fears that there could be a broader problem with the manner in which this company operates?
It's a good question, and there's 24 Edge centres in South Australia, and I think there's about 75 nationally. They are a big provider. I think certainly the situation that we've seen at the Plympton site is obviously the most serious, hence the action to suspend the service for 14 days. But the regulator has also taken what's, I think, almost an unprecedented step in South Australia and put in place what's called an enforceable undertaking that applies to all 24 sites. And they've been given a year to improve their practice across 4 key areas: staff capability, oversight and governance, to name a few. If they don't lift their game in those areas, other Edge early learning centres face the same possibility of the same kind of action we've seen at Plympton. So I think we've shown a willingness to take the strongest action available to us in the hope that not only does it keep kids safe, but it actually really drives change and that we can turn things around. That's the best outcome for everybody.
Yeah. Blair Boyer, the Education Minister, thanks for joining us this morning.
The Shadow Minister for Education, Heidi Girolamo, has called in. Heidi, good morning to you.
Good morning.
What's your take on it, as Shadow Minister?
We're calling on the Labor government to establish an urgent action group. We know that a lot of these families have been left in the lurch and for no fault of their own, and certainly the staff as well, a lot of whom would be casual staff. What happens if the centre doesn't open in 2 weeks' time? We want to know that the government is putting measures in place to make sure that people at this centre are supported, but also we know that there's a number of centres right across the state that are not meeting quality standards. So will this keep happening again? And what measures are being put in place, not only to audit these centres, which is hugely important, but what measures are being put in place to ensure that these issues don't keep happening again? We have an absolute crisis within the childcare sector, and it seems like every week there's a different story about a centre not performing. There's obviously a lot of centres that do the right thing, but at the moment families are very fearful when it comes to the quality of care that's being given in a lot of these centres, and we need to make sure that the government is stepping up and putting services in place to make sure that families are supported during this challenging time.
Yeah, isn't that a bit counterintuitive though? I mean, the fact that we're finding out that some centres aren't up to standard, isn't that sort of the whole point, that we should be finding that out, and we are finding that out?
I think it's very important that the audits are happening, but it's also the next steps as well. So what's being done to make sure that these centres remain return to a good standard and stay at that standard. We also know there's a number of new centres that have been set up that have never had an audit, and also there's a number of centres that are below the standard or not meeting the quality standards that have not been audited. So back in July, I called on the Minister to ensure that all of these centres were audited by the end of the year, but also that measures are put into place to make sure that this doesn't continue. It's just very concerning for many families when it comes to childcare. Most families have to both work, and we know that we're in a cost of living crisis as well. So for some of these families at Plympton, they are not able to work for the next 2 weeks. And to find out at 8:30 the night before it must be really challenging for these families, and also the staff. As I mentioned, a lot would be casual employees as well.
Heidi Girolamo, the Shadow Minister for Education, thanks for that. I reckon this company needs to do a much, much better job getting its communication right. They've put out some pat letter to parents where they sound like they're trying to downplay it. They've said that they take these things extremely seriously, but then they say the student teacher left the 2 children unsupervised in the classroom for approximately 2 minutes while she sought guidance, and went on to say no child has been harmed. Like, the whole thing seems to be about, that sounds like a downplaying of the issues, and the issues that those mums that Em was talking about earlier raise go way beyond that. And, a pat statement to the advertiser, probably finessed by some crisis management PR firm, is not quite enough by way of transparent discussion of what's actually going on.
There are models for privately run, profit-motivated businesses doing highly sensitive work really well. Like, we have private health, and we don't have reports of doctors buying, equipment from Scalpels R Us to save money, I
can't believe it's a childcare centre.
So there is a model for having appropriate levels of regulation and government oversight, but also paying and training staff well enough. And it's a combination of those factors. Just, it doesn't seem to be happening in the childcare space at the moment.
Yeah, it's a good point, though.
8223 is our number. You can text us on the police home care text line as well. I was just laughing at the range of texts we get.
I love that we've had a lot of really funny ones from poor people talking about Will's. That was almost a breaking at 8 about the new Crows finals tickets.
Yeah.
It was new information. But a lot of poor fans going, oh, you're making the finals again, are you? You're going to win any this time?
Well, that's...
Well, are we going
That's
to play
the next step.
Can you feel it?
Well, look, best be prepared with a ticket selling policy that gets the tickets in the hands of people that have been members for 30 years.
Marty Matner has shown the way.
Just now the problem
Straight
is...
sets exit 2024, Premiership 2025. That is the model.
Easy as that.
Piece of cake.
Hey, speaking of footballing excellence, our grand Vinyl Eve show, tomorrow, 2 p.m, hosted by Leith Forest, all thanks to Clarity Records, your fully independent record store, serving the local community for over 15 years, 60 Pulteney Street in the city. We're going to check traffic. Eddie Maguire coming up next.
Morning there at Ottaway. Quite chunky delays with urgent electrical works. Grand Junction Road at Eastern Parade. Got detours and speeds reduced through there. Pretty slow at the moment at Flinders Park. Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. South Road slow. Carrata Park to Anzac Highway as per normal about this time of the morning. And cameras Fitzroy Terrace North Adelaide and Harris Road at Vale Park. Support energy levels on the go with Blackmore's Energy B12 Rappy Melt. Find this great tasting melt for a great price every day at Chemist Warehouse. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
You could win $150,000 in next week's St. John Christmas Home Lottery Mega Draw. There's over 10,000 prizes to be won in the $7.5 million prize pool, including the $5 million grand prize package. You don't want to miss out. Enter before midnight Sunday for your chance to win $150,000. Your ticket will also be entered into all the weekly prize draws. Buy your tickets now at stjohnlottery.com.au. Licence M14834. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Ready for a fresh start in a location you love? Speak with Rossdale Homes. At Rossdale, we specialise in knockdown rebuilds, giving you a brand new home at your favourite address. Whether it's a single story, 2-story or split level design, we'll custom build a home that fits your style, needs and budget. And with our fixed price contracts, you'll have complete peace of mind from start to finish. Rossdale Homes, your local SA builder, because trust is a must.
Looking for exceptional early learning and care for your autistic child? Discover Anglicare SA's Daphne Street Autism Specific Centre. Our state-of-the-art facility in Prospect is run by a skilled team who offer expert education, specialised therapies and a play-based curriculum designed for individual growth. With a focus on early intervention and inclusive care, we ensure every child's unique needs are met. Give your child the best start with Anglicare SA. Visit our website to learn more. Anglicare SA, where every child's journey matters.
Get summer ready with TJM. Whether you're hitting the beach or heading off-road, TJM has the latest in four-wheel drive and camping gear to keep your adventure ready. Check out our brand new 270-degree freestanding awning, rooftop tents, camp chairs, fridges and everything else you'll need for the ultimate outdoor setup. Drive with confidence all summer long with TJM's range of bull bars, vehicle protection and premium suspension options, including GVM upgrades. TJM Nailsworth, Ranella and now Mount Gambier.
On the Cow IQ test, Fluorio milk cows come in at around 100, pretty much the national average. But when it comes to the milk our SA cows produce, it's unmatched. You don't need to be a cow Einstein to produce some of the best milk in the country. You do need the perfect grazing conditions, and the milk needs to be bottled on site and on shop shelves within hours. It doesn't get any fresher, any better, or any more SA than Fluorio Milk Company.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 to 9. Make sure you're tuning into Leith Forest this afternoon. He'll be joined by Sasha Harvey from the NDIS. Local Kitchen Co. is the company she runs, talking about delivering tasty, locally made meals right to your door. That'll be terrific. Leith Forest after 2 p.m. today. Great to give away the grand final tickets a little bit earlier. We need to be sending someone off to the grand final that hasn't been there before. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It was a lot of fun over the course of the last 8 or 9 days. The build-up is almost here, which means that some of the wonderful things we get to enjoy over the course of Grand Final week are almost here, like a special edition of the Footy Show hosted by our next guest this evening, Eddie Maguire. Eddie, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Yes, the build-up is starting to peak now, and public holiday in Melbourne tomorrow, of course. Everyone's had a life supply this week of rubber chicken and beef and at various functions. And, we're ready to go. And, of course, all the build-up and then, of course, when the teams run out, you realise what it's all about. Two great teams playing for the grand final this year.
Hey, Eddie, we're big Footy Class fans in our house. My son Jim and I watch it every Tuesday night. Ken Hinkley was a revelation the other night. He was terrific.
Yeah, I know Ken pretty well behind the scenes, and it's amazing when the guys can actually come up and they're not just being asked questions at a press conference or, the standard questions. Most of them got great personalities. I mean, Ken was regarded as a real prankster and one of the great guys involved in his footy clubs at Fitzroy and Geelong. And, behind the scenes, as I said, at Port Adelaide, it's the reason why the players actually love these coaches at times. People wouldn't realise that Mick Malthouse has got a devilish sense of humour and, could really, bring people together. So it's not just about yelling at players and the likes. And that's, in a lot of ways, that's what the Footy Show used to do, is to bring out the personalities in people. Now we're sort of in the era where everyone gets lectured on a lot of the shows. So it's nice to get a bit of gravitas. And, Ken, I thought, was fantastic the other night. And he had a lot to say, and I hope he has a lot more to say in the media next year.
The dust has settled, Eddie, after a Brownlow medal night. We spoke with Koshy yesterday, said the President's had a few views about how things might be tweaked in future to avoid embarrassment for the umpires, the league and everyone else. Have you got any tweaks in mind that you might put forward just to smooth over some of the vagaries of Brownlow voting?
What did the president have to say? Some of whom couldn't draw a football, but anyway. Well, the only thing I'd say is, I always try to look at these things, from a clear thinking point of view and a reality. I've been around a long time, so I sort of know the ins and outs of these things. And I do remember, I think it was 1974, when the Richmond officials, led by Caroline Wilson's father, Ian Wilson, and the great Graham Richmond, started a fight with the North Melbourne table afterwards because they were incensed that Kevin Bartlett didn't get the votes against Keith Grigg, who went on to win his second Brownlow medal. So this has been going on for a fair while. And there's been plenty of this. The only thing I would say is this. It is a bit ridiculous that we make the umpires cast their votes without any intelligence around them. We put them in the rooms after the game as if it's the papal conclave, and we lock them out, and we give them the sophistication of Morse code while the rest of the world is on AI. Now, I did ask Ken this the other night, as you would have seen, Will, and it was that why don't they just come there? Most of them are semi-full-time or full-time. When they review the game on a Monday, why don't they all come in? Why don't they maybe have their notes on first impressions? I think we should have patrol cameras in there now because we've had some corruption issues. Get their first impressions, then sit down and look at it, go through it, and make the decisions. That would then make sure that centre-half backs, full-backs, full forwards would actually come into the play. They'd get a bit of an understanding because it's incredible. Everyone's carrying on about the Wanganeen Malera miss in the last game. Now, on Footy Classified, we gave him Alexis. So good was that game. It was the best individual performance of the year. Now, I got 2 votes. But having said that, don't forget the Melbourne coaches box missed that Viney wasn't in the right spot. Viney forgot where he was. There was a 666 rule, which, of course, we give everyone a second chance usually before we do that one. People are running around like hairy goats. And, Melbourne did finish in front when the siren went. Now, they weren't there when Wanganeen Miller kicked that beautiful goal. My point is there's a lot going on, and I think we've actually made it impossible. So if we're going to make it the night of nights, and it's the umpire's night of nights, well, you keep them, but give them a little bit of support. And if you want to change it, well, then we'll just have another one. Don't forget that the great and good of the media and past players and the AFL themselves completely cocked up the All-Australian Award 2 weeks earlier with everything in front of them. So, it is subjective.
Yeah,
we've got a great winner. Nick Dacos has been a bit stiff the last 3 years, but you wouldn't begrudge Patrick Cripps and Matt Rowell have been Brownlow medal.
I think Nick will get one before his time's out, at least one. Hey, the Footy Show Grand Final My Room Telethon tonight, 7:30 on Channel 9. Hell of a lineup you've got. You mentioned Patrick Cripps, Will Day, Marcus Bontempelli are ambassadors for My Room. So too, Oscar Piastri is going to make a bit of an appearance tonight. So it's one hell of a lineup.
He is. Yeah, and we're going to auction off one of his actual helmets, which he doesn't give away to him.
Oh, wow.
Apparently. I said, you're bringing him? He said, no, we're getting a replica to bring in tonight with his mother because it doesn't leave the lock factory and all this sort of thing. So it's huge. And hopefully if Oscar, if he can continue and stay on the track, get on and win the World Drivers' Championship, it'd be fantastic. We also got Harris Andrews, captain of the Brisbane Lions, coming on, and Ollie Dempsey from Geelong. So that's great that, 2 days before the grand final, these guys make themselves available. And Harris is coming in he's around the corner hotel, so he's coming in, and Ollie will cross to him down in Geelong. So it's great that everyone's in. It's raising a lot of money. We hope to raise, 4, 5, maybe, at a stretch, $6 million for cancer research for kids, which I think the key thing as well is this is a national cancer research. So if you're watching in South Australia, don't think that it's just going to a Victorian hospital. It's actually for everybody, and it's a really good cause.
Well, good on you, Ed. All the best for the event tonight, and enjoy the grand final weekend.
We will indeed. It should be great. I think Geelong will win, and and Jeremy Cameron, if he kicks 5, he'll win the Norm Smith medal, and a deserving winner he will be.
Indeed he will be. Good on you, Eddie. Eddie McGuire will be hosting this excellent special edition of the Footy Show tonight, raising money for children's cancer. Let's have a look at the fuel situation before we leave you on this Thursday morning. It's better to be a member with RAA Road Service. The cheap spots are well under $1.60. The Mobile, Henley Beach Road, Torrensville, $1.56.5. The Yugo, Port Road, West Hindmarsh, $1.56.5. The cheapest diesel at the airport, $1.70.5. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We'll catch you tomorrow morning from 6.
Coming up next on 5AA.